From Frank Monica Field at Thomas Dupuis Stadium in La Place, Louisiana, Crescent City Sports is proud to bring you Louisiana High School playoff football. Tonight, it's a Division II select semifinal matchup as the University Lab Cubs take on the top-seeded St. Charles Catholic Comets. Hello, everybody. Ken Berthelot, along with Wade Kaiser, Rick Thompson, our spotter, and Matt and Chip Merritt on the cameras and producing tonight as we get set for playoff football. These teams are one game away from the Louisiana Superdome and the state championship, but they each have to get by each other tonight, and we've got two good ones in the University High Cubs and the St. Charles Catholic Comets. Wade Kaiser?
Yeah, well, two really good football teams, right, that play great defense. And if you like defensive football, you're going to see some great defense tonight out of the Comets and the Cubs, right? One team, the Cubs, University High, only allowing 14.5 points a game all season long. And then the St. Charles Catholic Comets find ways to score on defense and have only given up on an average 12 points a game this season, right? I mean, these are two really good defensive football teams tonight that are going to have to come up with some answers for great running games because both teams have great running games.
And you spoke about defense, but let's look at it offensively. The University High Cubs average 42 points a game. St. Charles Catholic Comets, 32 points a game. Something's got to either give or hold tonight.
Well,
one of the two.
Those points are being scored because they can run the football with great offensive lines. Both teams have great offensive lines. Both teams do a great job running the football. You know, for the Comets, we're going to see Skylar Edwards and Evan Dufour, who are two really outstanding running backs. And then for the Cubs, you will see Ingram and Odell, Sage Ingram and Corbin Odell. They call him Mr. Inside, Mr. Outside. So it's going to be exciting to see how these guys are going to run the football tonight on such good defensive fronts.
University High, when they had the toss of the coin just moments ago, won the toss and deferred, so St. Charles Catholic's offense will have it first. These two teams are meeting in the semifinals for the second time in the last 3 years. In a Division III select matchup in 2023, the Comets advanced to the LHSAA Prep Classic after a gritty 10-7 overtime victory over the Cubs. So the Cubs have a little bit to make up for if you go back 2 years ago. And then last year, the Cubs, by an LHSAA ruling over an ineligible player, were kept out of the playoffs and away from the Superdome. So there's a little bit of, we belong. We're going to show everybody we belong by the University High Cubs. Right now we just had
thank you.
Our moment of silence and an invocation.
Direct your attention to the north end zone and join us as we honor our country and our veterans with the singing of our national anthem.
You heard the PA announcer. This is our national anthem from Frank Monica Field, Thomas Dupuis Stadium in La Place, Louisiana.
Graduate of the St. Charles Catholic class of 2020, where he served as student council president, stagehands president, and captain of the football team. He was a 4-year letterman in both football and swimming. Trey earned his bachelor's degree in sports administration.
This is a home game for the St. Charles Catholic Comets, so we are in La Place on their campus, University High, located on the campus of Baton Rouge, the LSU campus in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So a quick, a little bit less than an hour ride, maybe about 1 hour, a little bit more with traffic, as these two teams get ready to go. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
You see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave?
Well, I'll tell you what, David Lowery would be proud of that young man. That is one of his sons singing the national anthem, and he has a set of pipes on him.
And he hit the high note without even having to think about it, so didn't miss a beat on the national anthem. Well, folks, we're in for a really good one here. The winner of this game advances to the Superdome next Friday night in the state championship game to play the winner of tonight's Vanderbilt Catholic from Houma, Louisiana at Shaw, the Archbishop Shaw Eagles in Marrero on the West Bank. So Shaw hosting Vanderbilt Catholic. The winner of that game plays the winner of this game for the state championship 1 week from tonight, Friday night in the Louisiana Superdome in the Big Prep Classic. So we are sort of excited about this one, Wade, because, again, we've got two teams that are very good defensively, and they're both putting a lot of points on the board. 42 a game for the University High Cubs, 32 a game for the St. Charles Catholic Comets.
Well, St. Charles all year long has found a way to do it on all three phases. They did it again last week in the quarterfinals against E.D. White. They scored in all three phases of the game, right? So when you're clicking like that, you're not only able to run the football, score points running, you're able to kick field goals, block punts, which they've been doing. But they scored 2 touchdowns last week on defense. Same young man caught 2 interceptions last week, 2 pick sixes. I believe that was Preston Combe, one of the defensive backs from St. Charles that has played great all year, picks 2 off from E.D. White last year and takes him the distance. So when you're hitting on all cylinders, you're playing well. You're playing good football.
Well, in just a moment, we'll take a break along the line for the stations to identify themselves, and then when we rejoin, we will have the audience joining us from the Gulf Coast Sports and Entertainment Network. That'll be coming up in just a moment. Again, we are at St. Charles Catholic and awaiting the kickoff of this semifinal playoff game in Division I Select. And this, again, will be Division II Select, and the St. Charles Catholic Comets against the University High Cubs. We will take that break right now for the stations to identify themselves and be back with you in about 15 seconds. We welcome our viewers on the Gulf Coast Sports and Entertainment Network to La Place, Louisiana for a Division II Select semifinal matchup between University Lab and the St. Charles Catholic Comets. I'm Ken Berthelot along with Wade Kaiser and our entire Crescent City Sports production team. University High won the toss. They have deferred. They will be kicking to St. Charles Catholic, who will have the football first, and we are just about set to go here from La Place, Louisiana. The St. Charles Catholic Comets in their dark jerseys, dark blue with white pants and dark helmets. University High Cubs in their white helmets, white jerseys, and black pants. Their colors black and gold. The St. Charles Catholic Comets are blue and gold. Set to go in this big semifinal match to see who gets to the state championship game in the Louisiana Superdome against the winner of the Vanderbilt Catholic Archbishop Shaw game going on in Marrero at Archbishop Shaw. We are underway, taken at the 7-yard line, Kristen McLean, and he has a hole up the middle. Look at McLean go. Big return. One man to catch him and knocks him out of bounds inside the 30-yard line. My goodness. How is that for a big return to get this ball game started by the St. Charles Catholic Comets?
Well, I said they've been playing great special teams all year. Look at the blocking out of the wedge. Double wedge. Wedge up front, wedge in the rear. McLean finds a crease and gets vertical, right? When you have that type of speed, McLean does, he hits a crease vertically. He's going a long way. St. Charles is in business already right here in the first quarter.
My goodness. A 60, let's make sure we've got it right. That's going to be about a 70-yard return for St. Charles Catholic to get things started in this game on first down. Here's a keeper. And running to the right side, Landry LeBlanc, the quarterback. He is into the end zone. Touchdown. After a long kickoff return, a one-play drive for the score.
Quarterback ISO off a jet sweep motion. We've seen them do this earlier in the year. They get the linebackers moving with the jet sweep motion. Watch, here comes a jet sweep motion. All linebackers bump. They flow with the sweep motion. Landry LeBlanc takes it right up the middle with the ISO block and runs to the corner of the end zone. St. Charles on the board first. First play, offensive play of the game.
Tyler Miliotto in to attempt the point after. He has hit 49 of 52 this year, almost automatic. Kicks it up, and it is good. And with 11:42, my goodness, only 8 seconds gone here in the, 18 seconds gone here in the first quarter. It's 7-0 St. Charles Catholic.
Well, you know, the deal is when you can strike fast and you can get the momentum on your side, it's always interesting to see what your opponent is going to do. How are they going to settle down and answer the momentum of what you've been dishing out. So University High has been in this situation before, right? They come in already at with an overall record of 10-2, and the only 2 ball games, the only 2 blemishes they have on their record come from early in the year when they played Rummel in the Dome by losing 17-30, and then they play Catholic High 14-28. Then after that, they reel off all straight wins for another 9 wins, right down to Madison Prep last week in the quarterfinals, who has been a nemesis to everybody for the past couple of years. Madison Prep went in a tight ball game with them on week 9 and went tight with them during the quarterfinals last week, with University High winning in the last second 32-30 on an amazing sack, tackle, fumble recovery by Lamar Brown, who we'll talk about, I'm sure, tonight. But how is University High going to answer? That's always the question.
And we will find out in just a second as Miliotto moves on the football. He normally kicks it very deep and does to the 1-yard line. Here comes the return out to the 20-25-yard line. And that's Aaron Moore on the return. So, again, pretty good field position for the University High Cubs. As you said, we have to see how they can answer, because they must answer. Otherwise, you've given the momentum to St. Charles Catholic.
Well, we're going to see 2 really good running backs in this U High Cub offense. Sage Ingram, who's rushed for 108 times, 845 yards, all in 11 touchdowns on the season, and Corbin Odell, who has rushed 94 times for 547 yards, and this one was handed off to Sage Ingram.
Ethan McGlynn, the quarterback, hands it off, and Sage Ingram and, as you said, Corbin Odell are the 1-2 guys that really try to make this thing work. They call them fire and ice together. They complement each other. They help each other. Only got 2 on that on first down. Briggs Anderson on the stop for St. Charles Catholic.
Yeah, fire and ice, inside, outside. They go by a bunch of nicknames, right?
And a lot of times McGlynn will do just that right there. Ethan McGlynn, a good runner with the football. He comes to the near side, doesn't get very much as Caden Acevedo makes the stop, and it's 3rd down now and still a long way to go, 3rd and 7.
Yeah, well, McGlynn's going to make you honor him, right? They're going to run a lot of RPO with him, and as a defense, St. Charles is going to have to honor the other running back in the backfield, which is Ethan McGlynn.
Let's see if McGlynn goes to the air. He will roll to the left side. In trouble, dumps it off just in time to a man in the backfield and nowhere to go. Down goes Charlie Petit, and a 1-2-3 punt, and that's going to be it for the Cubs on their first offensive possession.
Yeah, McGlynn was looking deep for Cade Minshaw, right? And it's covered out there, and he just dumps it off to his tight end, Charlie Petit.
Pettit, I believe.
Pettit, as in the great basketball, right? As in the great basketball player, right? And Charlie Pettit had no place to go. Blue jerseys, dark jerseys were all over him immediately.
Yeah, Byron Bailey was one of the people there, and a fair catch called for and made at the 49-yard line. They're going to mark it right at midfield, so that's a pretty good field flip for the St. Charles Catholic defense.
No doubt, and that is the way they have done things all year. Play good defense, flip fields on special teams, and then take the ball over with your high-powered offense somewhere around midfield. And it's paid dividends because of the amount of points they've been scoring all season, which has been 32.8 each game.
So St. Charles Catholic comes on. We haven't had much time to be able to even talk about Landry LeBlanc, this quarterback who has done such a fine job. And LeBlanc, after the handoff, that one goes nowhere as the Cubs, with their good defense. Claude Remedy in on the stop, throws the Comets for a 2-yard loss, making it 2nd down and 12.
Well, you're going to see a lot of 8-man front out of University High, whether they're going to be in a 0 front, which is a 0 nose guard, and a 3-3 stack type of look. Somehow, some way, they're going to make sure that they get their safeties down into the box to give them that 8-man front, sometimes 9-man fronts, to be able to stop the running game.
Handoff this time to Skylar Edwards. He's going to be the ball hog. He's going to get a lot of the work, and he is met by Caden Sims-Grassi and brought down, but after a nice gain, making it 3rd and 5.
If these offensive lines can get to the second level, okay, meaning that they're going to get the chip blocks, the duo blocks, and then they're going to be able to work up to the second level, up to those linebackers, whether it's the St. Charles offensive line or the University offensive line, both teams will have success running the football.
So big 3rd down.
We see the new LSU signee in there, number 55 at the nose, Lamar Brown.
Watch him, folks, because he's going to play both ways, and he will wreck up an opposing offense and defense. This is going to be tackled short of the 1st down, brought down on the far side by James Upton.
Look, I was down on the field before the game, as I always do, right? And I walked over there near him. He's 6'5", 300 pounds on a scale, right? But I'm telling you, he does not look 300 pounds. He looks like a trim, slim 255, right? When they get him to LSU, he's going to be 325 plus, running like a deer.
Well,
this cat can run.
He had Tiger fans a little nervous because he didn't sign on signing day, but he finally got with Lane Kiffin. They signed today, and however it got done, and he'll be wearing number 5 for the LSU Tigers. And that'll be Tiger fans just give them something to be real happy about, and that will move the chains for the 1st down on the completion, and that's exactly what they needed right there, that completion brought down by Emmanuel Moses, and that, I believe, went out to Skylar Edwards, or maybe Kristen McLean.
Yeah, well,
numbers are a little hard to see, folks, so work with us on this.
They dump it out to Kristen McLean. That's nothing but a toss sweep, a high percentage type of pass right there. He gets, with his speed, out to the edge. We've seen his speed already in the kickoff return, right? So he picks up the 1st down for St. Charles.
From the 39-yard line, and this time just a straight handoff and run left Edwards, and he will get back to about the 40-yard line and no more. That's the line of scrimmage as the University High Cubs defense stiffens.
Emmanuel Moses, the free safety, one of those guys walked down in the box, and if that name sounds familiar, last name Moses, he is the youngest brother of the Moses siblings that have played at University High, namely Dylan and Keelan, right? He's the youngest of all the Moses that have gone through University High. And look, he's a good football player. He's a junior.
Right about now is when you would expect Coach Wayne Stein maybe to open it up, but not so. Here's a good fake handoff, and it'll be a keeper by Landry LeBlanc, who goes straight ahead, pushing down to the 35-yard line, and he may have fumbled that football. Let's see. We're waiting for an official's call. This is officials from the Monroe Officiating Association, Monroe, Louisiana Officiating Association, and it is recovered. If it was dropped, it was recovered by St. Charles Catholic.
Well, it's the same play that he scored on earlier at the beginning of the football game, except to his right. There was a jet motion across, bring the backside guard around on the ISO up on the linebacker. He rips the ball out, reading that outside linebacker because he flows with the motion, and he hits that hole that the linebacker vacates. It's a great little scheme. It's an RPO scheme. You're seeing a lot of people do it, especially at the college level.
Claude Remedy came in late with a play from the sideline. They look at him and know Landry LeBlanc will keep, and he is across the 30, and that's going to be very close to a first down. They're going to mark it maybe a half-yard short. Wow, that's going to bring up 4th and inches. Ben Pecorella.
Oh, they're going to go for this. There's no doubt about that.
Oh, yeah, this is 4-down territory right here. This is now the 7th play of this drive. St. Charles Catholic, that's their game plan. They like to have 7 to 12 play drives, play drives, that just eats up a lot of clock and ends up with points on the scoreboard. They lead it 7-0 after that 69-yard kickoff return and then 23-yard run. There's a different look in the backfield. You'll get handoff straight ahead. They've got the first down. That'll move the chains.
Well, it's ISO full house backfield in a power eye look, straight eye look. They hand it off to Edwards through the A gap on the ISO, and he picks up the first down. We're going to see Landry LeBlanc run the football tonight, the quarterback from St. Charles. He is another guy back there, as we say, when your quarterback runs as a defense, you've got to account for him.
At the 28-yard line, well, you're seeing a stacked backfield right now to get some extra blocking. And again, this is a St. Charles Catholic team that would rather run than pass. Here's a handoff straight up the middle again. And that, I believe, was Skylar Edwards moving forward. Brought down by Sims Grassi.
Skylar Edwards does a nice job here. They run a nice little scheme again, trap scheme, right? Where they pull the backside lineman and trap an unblocked defensive lineman on the other side of the ball. Skylar Edwards hugs the double team and picks up a nice little gain for on the first down play.
Play brought in by Jaden Gross. 2nd down, 8. St. Charles Catholic from the 26. Throw to the left side. It is caught at about the 17-yard line. Caught by Walker LeBlanc, the cousin of quarterback Landry LeBlanc.
And I had the good fortune to be able to coach both of the LeBlanc's dads.
They were twins, right? They were twins.
They were twins. Lynn and Ken were both twins. Lynn's over on the chains tonight. I saw their parents in the stands as I was walking up, and this is their sons who are cousins. Walker, the cousin of Landry, the quarterback. LeBlanc to LeBlanc.
At the 16-yard line. Nothing doing on that play as the Cubs defense busted up. Now keep your eye on the Lamar Cubs defensive lineman, also number 55. That's Lamar Brown. That's the young man we talked about. Plays both ways for the Cubs. Number 2 player in the country. Number 1 defensive lineman in the country. Going to be a defensive lineman for LSU. He's going to wear number 5. He's wearing 55 here for the Cubs. He can be a party crasher, so to speak. 2nd down, 10. LeBlanc will hand it off. No, he won't. He'll keep.
Pressure applied by James Upton. They brought a strong safety blitz from the wide side of the field off the edge, and he was unaccounted for on the bootleg.
Yeah.
Landry LeBlanc turns right off of the handoff right, and he says hello to Mr. Upton, who's right in his face. Here we go, stretch boot, bang, here comes the blitz.
And then
he just gets rid of it.
He had to get rid of that and just throw it away real quick. So that brings up 3rd down and 10. Let's see if the Cubs defense can hold. They fell behind 7-0, but look at the clock-eating drive here.
They're just, real quick, Ken, they're discussing whether or not there was a receiver in that alley because the quarterback was not outside the tackle box. They're discussing whether or not that was possibility of grounding, but there was a receiver within 5 yards of the ball. There was. Yeah, but a good crew was going to come together and discuss that, and that's exactly what they did.
So Landry LeBlanc, 3rd down, 10. This time, lots of protection. He will throw. Caught at the 5-yard. Oh, and dropped. My goodness, that doesn't happen with these receivers very much. But that was right in the hands of a receiver, Claude Remedy, and he couldn't hold it.
Great protection by the Comet offensive line, giving LeBlanc enough time to stand in there on the curl right route. It's a little bit off to his left shoulder right there. Definitely a catch that could have been made by Rimonde. He's going to want that one back. It's going to set up a field goal by Miliotto.
Now this from the 23-yard line will be a 33-yard attempt by Miliotto. He has 40-yard range. And this 33 one is good. Had plenty of leg right down central. And it is good. That adds 3 more to the St. Charles Catholic side of the scoreboard. And they lead 10-0 with 2 minutes and 59 seconds to play here in the first quarter.
Well, it was a great kick. He's done that all year. Like I said, special teams have been great for St. Charles Catholic. But take a look at the clock, folks. If you take a look at the clock, you're going to see you got 2:59 left in a quarter. How many times has University snapped the ball offensively this quarter? 3 times.
3 times. They've had 3 plays in this quarter. You're right.
So this is the MO that the Comets have, always have wanted to do in every game that they're in. They're going to control the clock. They're going to eat things up. They're going to make sure they take as much air out of the game as possible. And so you better be on your P's and Q's offensively when you play them, because you're going to have to score every series to keep up with them. So it's going to be interesting to see how U-High answers coming back out on offense to see how they can move the ball. What adjustments have they made?
Well, that was a 10-play 50-yard drive, 6 minutes, 59 seconds, and a 33-yard field goal by Miliotto. 10-0. St. Charles Catholic kicks off. This one taken at the 4-yard line. And the return by Aaron Moore again. And he gets it out to just close to the 25. And they'll mark it right about there, maybe at the 24-yard line. So this is the time with 2 minutes and 53 seconds in this first quarter where the Cubs really have to get something going, because like you said, they've snapped the ball 3 times and then punted.
Right, and so they've made some adjustments. You're going to see what they've done, whether it's formationally, motion-wise, whatever that is that they're going to do to try to be able to loosen up this 8-man front of St. Charles Catholic.
Now they try a little run over the left side and get some room out of that and at least get some positive yardage, and you just start building on that right there. Not bad to move it on first down. So that is a run by Lawson Dixon.
Lawson Dixon gets met by one of those linebackers from St. Charles Catholic, Creed Merricks. Look, Lawson Dixon, all right, is solid, right? And he's a good athlete as a wide receiver, but they will run the ball out of the backfield with him.
Nothing doing that time.
They try to throw the ball to him out of the backfield right there, get the ball into his hands. He's a signee at Southeastern. So a high percentage play. They have him in the backfield. You can see him just trying to dump the ball out there in the quick screen. The guys out here in white, the wide receivers, don't block anybody. You got to block if you're going to throw those screens.
And suddenly you're faced with third down again. So you've got to move the chains here. You've got to move the chains and keep this drive going in some manner. Ethan McGlynn at quarterback. Drops back. He will throw over the middle. It is caught by Cade Minshew. Minshew brought down short of the first down. That'll bring up 4th down for the Cubs. That time, Tyler Bovia all over it.
Just trying to dump it to the receiver on the mesh route. You can see the 2 mesh routes right there by the 2 receivers in the white jersey. One of them is Minshew, and the other one was Charlie Pettit, right? They were trying to pick off the man coverage of St. Charles by running these mesh routes. McGlynn drops it into Minshew, but they don't pick up the first down.
Kristen McLean is back waiting for this punt. Would they try a fake right here? I wouldn't. They do. They try the fake, and they've got to push forward. It's close. It's up to the 35-yard line. It's going to be very close to a first down. My goodness, that was a big fake and big run right there by Corbin Odell.
Corbin Odell, the running back, is one of the protectors in the wall up front for University High. Look, they
it.
snap at the ball right to him, and they get a blocker around the back. Nicely done. He uses his power to pick up the first down. Hey, what a gamble. Hey, but you're going to have – it's like you're in the semifinals, right? You know you might only get the ball 2 times in the first quarter. You better keep this drive going.
I love the fake punt call. How about that by Coach Andy Martin? Sometimes you've got to gamble, and Coach Martin gambled just there. This game moving quick. These two teams like to keep it going. We haven't been able to tell you a lot about the players and coaches yet. Straight ahead up to the 39-yard line, and right now University High is saying, hey, we can grind it out too. Lawson Dixon on the run, brought down by Briggs Anderson.
Yeah, Briggs Anderson, another one of those really good defensive backs for St. Charles.
We haven't seen Sage Ingram really running this ball too much. And, that ball's plopped on the ground, messed up on the handoff. Who's got it? And University High will keep the ball. My goodness, that was so close. And it was Sage Ingram who was going to get the run, and he saved it for the Cubs.
Well, bad snap was kind of off to the right of Ethan McGlynn, and it kind of runs right into Ingram. The snap does. He tries to catch it, talking about McGlynn and trying to seed the ball into Ingram. Just can't get it there. Ingram hustle after the ball and jumps on it and saves the drive for University.
Well, that's going to probably be it for the first quarter. They're going to let the clock run out, and that gives us the opportunity to remind you that tonight's coverage on Crescent City Sports is brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex in Kenner. Lamarck Pre-Owned has a huge selection of pre-owned vehicles, all makes and models. We have great deals. Must be a reason, says Ronnie Lamarck. By the way, you'll see that little QR code on your screen. It's a reminder you can scan that QR code in the corner of your screen for all the latest scores from Crescent City Sports on our scoreboard, presented, as always, by the All-State Sugar Bowl.
I tell you what, that's pretty high tech for me.
We haven't had that for a while, so I'm glad to see that.
Well, when it was introduced about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I was making the comment that, there's just some things that are outside of my technology range at this stage of my life, and that's one of them. I still haven't figured out how to work those things, so I got to give the phone to either one of my kids, older kids, obviously, because that's what they are, or my wife, who is a little more technology savvy for me. But that's really cool. You can keep up with all the scores going on around the state, and, there are 16 games going on in the semifinals around the state in both divisions, select and non-select.
10-0 after one. And time of possession in that first quarter, my goodness, that long drive took up 6 minutes and 59 seconds by St. Charles Catholic. And, of course, they took the opening kickoff, returned it 69 yards. And then on the first play, quarterback Landry LeBlanc took it 23 yards into the end zone. So that was a quick 18 seconds to go with it. But basically it was just a long, probably almost 9 minutes. We'll have to add it up. But the first quarter time of possession belonged to St. Charles Catholic, and that's their game plan. That's what they do.
Yeah.
Long, sustained drives, eat up the clock, get points on the board, and just slowly take the game away from your opponent.
Right, and we called them earlier in the year and saw them against that really good football team out of Texas, Legacy School of Sports Science out of the Houston, Texas area, and it was a 35-31 game, and that team could score on a drop of a dime, right? So St. Charles, every time, they're trying to take the air out of the ball in the game, and they're doing it here again tonight.
McGlynn with lots of time, and he'll throw, and it's just short, and that's going to bring up fourth down. And now, is this four-down territory this early in the second quarter, this early in the first half, 11:47? What do you think?
I think you got to punt the football, right?
Punt.
But what that drive did for them right there by moving the chains a couple of times, at least gives them some confidence that they can move the ball. So now they're going to go back to the boundary. They're going to readjust themselves. I'd like to see them do a little bit more with motions and formations to try to loosen up that St. Charles Catholic 8-man front, which is really good, and see if you can find some running room for Ingram and Odell.
They do fake it. They fake it, and they won't get it. Mason Melanson was back there, and St. Charles Catholic host Tyler Bovia in on the big stop. My goodness, you have to try to fake it. You have to try to go maybe, but it didn't work this time.
Well, what's the old saying? Fool me once, right? And there's a little discussion going on. I don't see a flag. Let's see what happens. You can see the same play. It's
that's
to the
Ingram.
opposite side. Yeah, that's Ingram running the ball.
Ingram on the fake, yeah.
And this time St. Charles was ready for it, right? Fool me once. They're having a little discussion here. I don't know if it's about the mark or what. There's a flag down right there at the 45-yard line.
Oh, he was so close. Look at the mark. Well, the flag is not the mark, so let's see where they're going to spot the football. But if that flag is at the spot, the mark looks like it's back at the 43-yard line. So Ingram missed it by 2 yards. Let's see what the official is.
I don't know what the call would be here. Here we go. They're picking it up. I really don't understand what a call would be there, right?
Right.
It's pretty self-apparent. It was an ISO run on a fake punt, off tackle. And either you're going to have a holding penalty or you're not, or you're going to have a pre-snap penalty, which they would have blown dead. So I don't know what the whole discussion was about. Any way you look at it, nice job by the officials talking about it, picking it up, and now it's 1st and 10 Comets in great field position again.
Wow, great field position is at the University Cubs 43-yard line. My goodness. And now you've got to ask your defense to really step up and come to the table, because you cannot afford to let St. Charles Catholic widen this gap anymore right now, especially with the way they drive the football, those slow drives. Landry LeBlanc, the keeper, the quarterback, he is down across the 40 to the 39-yard line, a gain of 4. Manuel Moses on the stop.
Well, at that University front, okay, you're going to see them line up in 8-man. You're going to see 8 jerseys inside that the box there, right? So it's a heavy front that you're going to have to block. That's no problem for St. Charles all year. They've been running against heavy fronts. Now they got 9 in the front.
And they take off down the left side. LeBlanc, look out, he's got room. My goodness, look at him go. DJ Coleman makes the push out of bounds to halt the play.
Jet sweep. We've seen them pull the ball and run the quarterback ISO. Now we see them hand the ball off to Walker LeBlanc, who uses his speed to get out on the flank and away from that 8- and 9-man box. Working inside, working outside. Nice balance by the St. Charles offense.
Boy, an errant toss. And just quickly jumping on that ball and saving it is, well, Jordan Pennick got in there to mess it up. Kristen McLean is the one who's had the pitch coming to him and saved it for the Comets.
Yeah, well, Pennick was there, and also Upton, who forced the issue on the lead option, right? Got right into LeBlanc's face, made him pitch the ball quick, and it was a little bit errant. Nice job getting that ball, picking it up, Skylar Edwards, to make something happen with it. But here's the deal. They're behind the chains. First time all night that we've seen a St. Charles offense in a negative situation now, second and about 14 yards.
Now let's see where they put him. The handoff there will be to Skylar Edwards, and he just pushes. He's the workhorse. The senior, 5'10", 175, but he churns those thighs and legs hard. Lane Mixon finally brings him down.
Well, it gets them back inside the chains for a 3rd and 9 here, right? But you got to remember they have a great kicker in Miliotto. And if you decide that you want to throw the football down here, this would be the shot to throw the football right here on 3rd and 9.
Let's see.
Let's see if they take a shot here.
Got a man in motion. Good play action. Fake. Throws. Oh, had a man open in the end zone. Couldn't get the ball to him.
Well, there's your shot right off of the motion, coming across the field and running the rail route up the boundary. I thought they would take a shot here because Miliotto can walk in and hit this field goal. So here comes the rail route. that looked like that might have been Claude Rimonde that was running the route. All right, coming up the boundary, and the ball was just a little bit underthrown behind him, and they're going to bring on Miliotto for the kick.
So this one will be put down at the 23-yard line. Another 33-yard attempt for Miliotto. And he kicks it up, and it is long enough and good once again.
Look, Miliotto's been almost automatic all year. Field goals. Coming into the game, he was 4 of 6, longest 46 yards, right? So he is really in a groove right now. The wind was slightly at his back right there, but it's not bothering him that much. And when you've got a weapon like that, that's why you can take that shot on 3rd and 9, right? You know, we're going to go ahead and take a shot at the end zone. Perfect time to take the shot off the motion. We've set the play up. Take it. If we miss it, we can bring Miliotto in and extend our lead.
Anything inside the 30-yard line, and Miliotto is almost automatic, as he showed right there. So he's got 2 33-yard field goals, and again, the 23-yard run, touchdown run by the quarterback, Landry LeBlanc, after the 69-yard opening kickoff return. That's how the St. Charles Catholic Comets has gotten to this 13-0 lead over University High. So this is the series where the University High Cubs really have to crank it up.
Well, we've seen 2 fake punts, right? And I don't know if they got another one in their bag, but they spent those cards.
Andy Martin loves to do all kind of trick plays. You talk to him and he goes, "Man, we've got fakes for everything." So
well, there you go. Well, that's good. Here's the deal: if you have them and you practice them, you better use them, because the kids won't believe in them if you don't.
Dixon back, and he returns to about the 21-yard line.
Have you noticed something tonight with the St. Charles Catholic coverage teams, right? They have done a great job covering their kicks and not allowing Dixon to get loose.
Yes. So they start at their own 21-yard line. Well, we haven't had a chance to see Ethan McGlynn really throw the ball as much as we expect, and that's because time of possession is so in favor of St. Charles Catholic. So the handoff straight ahead, running forward, and just a gang tackle by the entire center of the Comets defense. Brooks Monica led the way. He's the leading tackler on this St. Charles Catholic team. He and Creed Marix, the other linebacker, are 1-2. Monica, the grandson of Frank Monica and the son of Ty, has been a leader for the last 2 years. Boy, he wants his senior year to be one where they can, this Comets team can go to the Dome and tack on a state championship, run up the middle, but again, nothing doing right there. Boy, they're running hard. That time Corbin Odell trying, but he runs into Byron Bailey. After a few, now it's 3rd down for the Cubs. They've got to move the chains and take it to the house to get on the board.
They need to start throwing the ball off of play action on 1st down. That'll loosen that secondary and that front up a little bit from St. Charles.
Let's see if they do right here. Yeah, you had a little play. Well, he tried. Now he's just got to toss it to get rid of it because he was being chased, and he throws it at the feet of Corbin Odell, who has no shot to get it. Now you've got 4th down for the Cubs.
St. Charles dials up blitz. They get the strong safety through. He gets home, and the only thing that McGlynn could do with the ball was dump it, right? So he dumps it at the feet of Odell. Really would love to see their offense try to throw the ball a little bit on 1st and 2nd down. If you can do that now, you're going to get a lot of guys spread out over the field, kind of spread the offense out, which will move some of those defenders out of the box, loosen things up, connect with something on 1st or 2nd down, try to get yourself in a more manageable position on 3rd down to run the football.
Mason Melanson a punt. Kristen McLean waits for it near his own 40-yard line. This will be a short punt. Will take a bounce, and it's going to get a little bit of a Cubs roll. And they will down it at the 38-yard line of St. Charles Catholic, who will have it with 7 minutes and 26 seconds to go before half, leading 13-0. And now the Cubs defense will have to find a way to make another stop.
Well,
or make a stop.
Yeah, make a stop, right? I mean, St. Charles takes over again with great field position. And again, nothing, different than working the clock all the way down and then snapping the football and trying to keep the sticks moving, right? But University High needs to come up with some answers real quick. Defensively and offensively.
And you know, you said make a stop. Sometimes when you think you're holding them when you're holding the Comets to a field goal, you've sort of made a stop. Well, that one on the far side. But again, great yardage because you pick up 7 on first down.
Well, that's Skylar Edwards out of the backfield. A little quick motion, dump the ball out. That's a real safe little play. We see that done a lot. That's no different than toss sweep right there. Get him the ball out there in space. Let Skylar Edwards do his thing, right? You know, he's already rushed for 882 yards this year and 8 touchdowns, you know, so get him the ball in his hands. Another way to do it right here with the lead option.
Or just toss it back and let it go. And look at this move right here. My goodness.
Look, if you're going to put 9 guys in the box inside and play man coverage on the 2 wide receivers outside, here's what you can do. You get everything walled off inside, and it's Skylar Edwards takes the ball off the toss and gets out onto the boundary out there. And now if you get blocks by your wide receivers, everything's keyed up for him to be able to do his thing in open field.
First down at the 30-yard line. That time, good handoff, and somehow the holes are just opening up, and they're just pushing through it 4 and 5 yards at a time. That time, Mixon on the stop. And again, you're just seeing hard running by Skylar Edwards. He's been taking the ball and making it happen on this drive. Let's see if they go to the air, down to the 26-yard line.
When they're running in between his tackles, the offensive line from St. Charles is dominating the line of scrimmage right now. And that's with an LSU signee and on the defensive line right now. You know, we said that LSU signing, Lamar Brown, is the best in the nation. What they're doing is they're doing a great job tying him up with 2 or 3 people.
Landry LeBlanc the keep, and LeBlanc down to about the 25-yard line.
Well, right there, you see Lamar Brown make that tackle. On the replay, watch him get off this double team, right? They've been putting 2 or 3 guys on. There's a double team on the nose guard right there. He splits the double team and makes the tackle. LSU fans,
oh yeah,
that's your guy right there.
That's your guy. Just keep an eye on him. He's signed with the Tigers.
Well, I know why he kind of delayed his signing. He wanted number 5. He wanted to make sure he was going to get the jersey 5.
Wearing 55
right,
for the University High Cubs. And there's just a keeper. And once again, Landry LeBlanc brought down by Albert.
Talamisi Bus Albert. That's what they call him, the bus, right? He's only a sophomore, 5'11", 240 pounds, comes in with 48 tackles and 2 sacks on the season. He's one of those real busy defensive linemen that do a great job up front.
4th down and 1. Cubs have to hold here. They're going to go for it. Leading 13-0. They would like to have it all.
They might try to draw him off sides here.
Now, it seems like there was a little mix-up on the play call.
We got a timeout.
Timeout called. Timeout called by the Cubs. U-High timeout on this one. Their first timeout called of this first half with 4 minutes and 22 seconds. And not quite sure. That looked like a fire drill. And I'm not sure if maybe there was a little confusion on what the offensive call was supposed to be, but U-High could see it and said, let's call timeout.
Oh, that's not it. Look, you can walk into almost every school now, and a fire drill is very organized. All right, so that was the wrong term, right? that looked like down the bayou they would say a Comets. All right, there's a Comets out there, right?
And if you're listening anywhere that's not down the bayou, you may not know what a Comets is. Everybody else gets it. If you know, you know. IYKYK, right?
I used to use another word when I coach, but I can't say it on air.
Well, thank you. All right, folks, here we go. 4th down 1. U-High needs a stop right here. They need the ball. They need to take it down, get some points on the board before halftime. Let's see if they can get it. They're trying to draw him offside with a long count. Won't get it. Good play action. Toss to the left side. It's caught. And there we go around for the first down and a whole bunch more.
Same
It
play
may have been Walker LeBlanc on the other side. Let me check.
Same play that they got the first down on back in the first quarter when it was 4th and short. Just kind of zing it out. Right there to the fullback, which was Gabe Kugler. In the backfield, lined up as the fullback. He just runs a little 2-route or a flat route out to the boundary. They just zip it out there to him real quick. He's got nice speed. He gets on the edge to pick up the first down. Comets are knocking at the door again.
Skylar Edwards next to LeBlanc at quarterback. LeBlanc will keep. He cuts back in. He's hit inside the 10 and driven back by Jordan Pinnock.
Well, Landry, running in there without a blocker is not wise, right? He pulls the ball down off the lead option right there and tucks it back under, and he doesn't have any blocking back to the backside because they've cut everybody loose backside. They're all blocking play side. Reach. He bends it back into Pinnock, who's sitting there right there saying hello to him. You got to know where your blocking is.
The guess is he gives to Edwards on the side of him. No, he won't. He's going to hand off to the man in motion coming around the side on the sweep, and he's pulled down out of bounds at about the 2-yard line. And I believe that was Evan Dufour.
Evan Dufour coming through on the jet sweep, trying to use his speed to get to the outside, but the guys in the white jerseys run him down right at the 2-yard line.
Third down. 3rd and goal. Can the U-High defense hold right here? Again, Landry LeBlanc, Skylar Edwards in the backfield. LeBlanc wants to throw it. Doug throws it to the man in motion. It is caught. It is a touchdown. And the St. Charles Catholic Comets have opened up a big lead in this game right now, 19-0. And that was Evan Dufour on the catch, the man in motion shooting across.
Well, they hand it off to him one time, and now they run the little 2-route out there with him off of the motion. He has leverage as he comes off because they're in man coverage. He's a step behind his defender. He gets the ball quick into the end zone for another St. Charles score.
Tyler Miliotto with the extra point. These are usually automatic for him, and this one is right there. And now it is with 2 minutes and 29 seconds to play before half. The St. Charles Catholic Comets have opened up a 20-0 lead over the University High Cubs from Baton Rouge. And right now, St. Charles Catholic kind of smelling it that, hey man, maybe this is our year to go to the Superdome and play the winner of a game going on in Marrero, Louisiana on the west bank of New Orleans at Archbishop Shaw High School. Archbishop Shaw hosting Vanderbilt Catholic. The winner of that game meets the winner of tonight's game for the state championship in the Louisiana Superdome for the Big Prep Classic next Friday night.
Well, right now St. Charles is smelling blood, right? They've got 2:29 left. They get a 3 and out right now. They can possibly tack something else on.
Tonight's coverage on Crescent City Sports is brought to you by Oshner Andrews Sports Medicine Institute. Don't let a sports injury keep you sidelined. Our team offers health care for athletes with same-day appointments available near you. Visit oxnard.org/sportsmed to learn more. All right, folks, here we go. Kristen McLean is back deep. He's dangerous. We know that from the big return. Pardon me. That was Petit on the return. Was it?
No, I believe that was.
Sometimes they fool us, folks.
That was Lawson Dixon on the return for University.
Here's the situation. University High has to drive down in these final 2:23 of the first half and get something on the board. McGlynn, quarterback, takes the snap, throws to the right side. It is caught, but only for about a yard or two on the far side, and that is caught by Lawson Dixon.
Yeah, look, Dixon's a fine football player. I've already said sometimes they'll put him into the game at halfback or they'll line him up out at receiver, right? He just signed at SLU. Nice out route right there on first down.
Boy, not fancy footwork by McGlynn on the run, and he is up near first down yardage, but will be short. Well, they're going to mark it about 2 yards away from a first down, bringing up an important third down for the Cubs. They're going fast. They're picking up the pace. Got to the line. They'll get the call from the sideline. Sage Ingram in the backfield with Ethan McGlynn. And he'll get the handoff. Goes through. He has the first down. My goodness. Right at the 40-yard line. That was a critical big run by Ingram. The ball popped out after, but he was already blown. It was blown dead. He's down, first down, and again, because of the time remaining in this first half, they're going rather quickly. McGlynn back. He'll throw to the right side, trying to work the sideline to get out of bounds, and he does to Dixon on the far sideline.
They run the same play they did on first down, and it's successful, but it puts them in a second and medium, right? I said they need to throw the ball on first down to try to loosen things up with this St. Charles Catholic front.
Dixon in motion this time, but he's looking the other way, and McGlynn's got to scramble for his life and just throw it away.
Yeah, he threw it away. Yeah, nothing was open that time. He just gets rid of the ball because he's trying to work that short side of the field into the boundary, right? And nothing was open. And when you do that, you're diminishing your space, so everything becomes really constricted over in that area, and everything was easily covered by St. Charles Catholic.
All right, third down and 7. Long way to go. Make it a short 7, long 6. Throw over the middle. It is caught by Cade Minshew. Minshew across midfield down to the 45-yard line of St. Charles Catholic. That's a big first down and a big gain.
Huge confidence builder for the University High Cubs on that pass.
McLean had made the stop. He's going to go long down the right side in a crowd, a jump up and pull down. How's that for a catch by Lawson Dixon? My goodness.
Look, Lawson Dixon last year broke a collarbone on week 2 and missed the whole season. He's made up for it this year by far and getting a chance to play college football next year. He's got a great set of hands, and he runs great routes.
Look how fast they're going. They're really moving on this one. This is a keeper all the way. Big hole. McGlynn in the end zone. Touchdown. How big is that? 17-yard run by Ethan McGlynn.
He was looking for Cade Minshaw to his right, who was running a rail route. You can see it at the top of the screen. You can see the rail coming up off top. I'm sorry, that's Dixon running the rail route. It was post rail. It was William Martin running the post route. Well covered by St. Charles. What does he do? Talking about McGlynn, he pulls that ball, sees nothing but goal line, and he answers for the U High Cubs.
Well, there you see it. The swinging gate will swing back over. And, man, that was a so much needed touchdown by University High. They needed to be on the board, and they are there now. Here comes your point after. Melanson kicks it up. It is good. Mason Melanson with the point after. It's 20-7. The Comets lead cut to 13 with 55 seconds to play in the half.
Well, that's a great answer. Great job, and that job of the answer was done by McGlynn, right? Throwing the football, getting the ball out on time when it wasn't open, pulling that ball down, getting vertical up the field, climbing in the pocket, and making something happen. You can credit Ethan McGlynn for that answer for the U High Cubs.
Well, now the defense has to do. Well, I'll tell you what, if the defense could get some type of a stop, punch-out, takeaway, that would be interesting. Here's another thing. You're looking at a team, Coach Andy Martin's U-High Cubs. Hey, they are the surprise team with all kind of kicking tricks. Would they try an onside kick here, Coach Wade Kaiser?
No, they're going to kick this thing deep, right?
as deep as possible.
I'm not giving St. Charles the ball at the 50-yard line.
Well, I agree. But they are the surprise kicking team of the playoffs. Let's see what happens here. Yep, they're going to squib one. It's going to be picked up at the 30-yard line by a short man and return just a few past the 35 up to about the 37, 38, and the stop.
Well, you're just trying to squib the ball, obviously, just to get that clock running, right? And that's the whole idea. You know, St. Charles has 3 timeouts to work with. They can work the boundary.
Well, they've got it at their own 38-yard line.
Just how aggressive will it be?
Yeah, with 49 seconds. That was my question to you. So
I got 3 timeouts. I'm aggressive, right? I'm going to get myself in a position. I can run the ball, too. I'm going to get myself in a position where I can take a shot at that end zone or at least get a Miliota field goal.
Now, that's the big deal. Can you get in Miliota field goal range? I think that's going to be the goal for St. Charles Catholic. Little toss to the right side. It is caught by Skylar Edwards, and he has run out of bounds, which stops the clock with 43 seconds. Both of these teams, I'll tell you, University High really used the sideline well on their last drive, and we're seeing St. Charles Catholic do it right here in these final 43 seconds of the first half.
Yeah, they were looking to take a shot right there on a pump and go, a double move out there by Claude Remonday, but it was well covered by University High, so they checked it down to Skylar Edwards just to pick up a few yards and get out of bounds and stop a clock. That was their shot play right there.
That was Evan Dufour coming in with the play. Hand off to Edwards. He's going to go around the left side, trying to turn the corner, nowhere to go, and he is brought down for no gain as the defense steps it up. And does U-High call a timeout right here? They have 2 remaining. Aaron Moore made the stop.
I think U-High I would have think they would have called a timeout, but they didn't. They're just going to let this thing run out. Looks like St. Charles is going to do the same thing.
Look, you're 13 points down. If they let it run out, that's okay. You can regroup. You've got the momentum. You scored the last touchdown if you're U-High, and I think that might be what Coach Andy Morton is thinking right here. Let's just take our time, take it to the locker room, and take a 20-7, or for St. Charles Catholic, a 20-7 lead. But for U-High, hey, we've trimmed that deficit to 13, and that is huge. And we have reached halftime. And I'll tell you what, it was an entertaining, fast-moving first half of football. Wade Kaiser, your comments on the first half and the way maybe St. Charles Catholic took control of it right away, and then U-High just backed their way into the game late in the first half.
Well, I mean, St. Charles Catholic came out with their foot on the gas, right? Pedal to the metal, and what really gave them that extra set of juice was the kickoff return, obviously, right, by Evan Dufour. And then they score on the next play. And they haven't let the foot off the gas since then. But credit U-High, right? Credit U-High, to start throwing the ball a little bit on first down, second down, to try to spread some things out, get them in more manageable third down situations on the drive that they scored on. And you can credit that drive to the quarterback, senior quarterback, Ethan McGlynn, who I think came in from the leadership standpoint, did a nice job to answer, at least get his U-High Cubs on the board, and now they can go in and try to regroup here at halftime and come up with some more answers on how they're going to slow down this St. Charles Catholic running game.
Yeah, and let's just recap some of the scoring in the first half. This game started off with U-High winning the toss and deferring, so they will get the ball first. Correct. In the second half. But they kicked off to St. Charles Catholic, and a gigantic 69-yard return by Kristen McLean down to the 23-yard line. And then on the first play from scrimmage, it was the quarterback all the way, and Landry LeBlanc took it 23 yards for a touchdown. And again, with 18 seconds having ticked off the clock, it was quickly 7-0 St. Charles Catholic. Then after that, it was a 3-and-out punt by U-High, and then you got into one of those patented St. Charles Catholic long, sustaining 6-minute, 59-second drives. That was 11 plays, ended up with a 33-yard field goal by Tyler Miliota, and it was 10-0 St. Charles Catholic. So 6 plays later, we're finally into the second quarter, and that means in the entire first quarter, University High only had the ball. This is unofficial, but we've got it down for 9 plays. So 9 plays max in the entire first quarter for University High, but they had that long drive starting at the end of the first quarter, carrying over into the second quarter, got down to a 4th down situation, fake punt, got the first. Couple of plays later, again, they're facing 4th down and 2, fake punt a second time. But this time, as Wade Kaiser said on the broadcast, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, or shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And St. Charles Catholic did not get fooled the second time. So the fake punt the second time didn't work, and St. Charles Catholic stopped it, got the ball turned over to them on downs. Didn't take them long because they got the ball at the 43-yard line of U High. A few plays later, they were at the they were down looking at a 4th down, so they brought in Miliotto. He kicked a 33-yard field goal, his second field goal of the same distance, 33 yards, to make it 13-0 St. Charles Catholic. Then after that, looking a little bleak for U High. It was another 3 out and punt. And this time the defense holds. They get the ball back. And U High, using the clock to their advantage as the first half clock was running out, takes the ball down and drives and picked up their pace. They were going at a much faster pace toward the end of the half in the final 49 seconds, and or final minute 49 or so, and trailing 20-0 at that point. They go ahead and get down, and again it is the quarterback Ethan McGlynn who, on a 17-yard run after some pretty crisp passes and a real good catch down there by, I believe it was Lawson Dixon in a crowd. That was a long pass that got him down to the 17-yard line on the throw to Lawson Dixon. Dixon leaped up, had triple coverage, came down with the ball, and then after that, Ethan McGlynn did the rest on a 17-yard run. That got the Cubs on the board late in the first half, and that's how the first half ended, with St. Charles Catholic leading 20-7. Wade, as you take a look at what we just talked about, what's going on, what do these coaches tell their teams in the halftime locker room?
Well, in the St. Charles Catholic locker room, they're going to make a few adjustments against on defensively against the University High throwing game a little bit, right? They're going to have to come up with a couple of now pressures that they're going to have to be able to apply on first and second down now that U High has found that they need to throw the ball a little bit on first and second down, right? And then offensively, they're going to have to talk about, let's get back to our basics, right, which is running the football. And that U High locker room, what they're going to have to talk to their team about, number one, is they're going to have to talk to them about building some confidence about look, we can play with these guys. We just got to come out in the second half. We get the ball. We got to come out, move the ball, move the sticks, and let's put some points on the board. Defensively, hey, it's time to gut up, right, because they're running the football on us, and that's what they're going to have to do. They're going to kind of challenge their defense a little bit about, hey, it's time to gut up and stop this running game. We have a second quarter score.
Well, let's take a look at some scores, because right now there's 16 state semifinal games going on across the state of Louisiana. So what scores do we have, Wade?
Well, I think as soon as I get it off my phone right here, John Curtis right now is losing to St. Aug at halftime, 13-7. Down in New Orleans and Algiers, Edna Carr, no surprise, up on Catholic of Baton Rouge in a close one, 14-10 at halftime. Second quarter from Ouachita Parish, Ouachita up 7-0 on Neville. That is interesting, right?
Yes, it is.
Halftime, Zachary 10-0 on Ruston, or 10-7 up on Ruston at halftime. Now here's the big one. This is the one that everybody here in the River Parishes are interested in, as far as who St. Charles or University High would have. Whoever comes out on top here tonight, between Shaw and Vanderbilt Catholic in a nail-biter second quarter just before halftime. Shaw up 3-0 on Vanderbilt Catholic
how you
from
like
Homa. Belle Chase getting beat by 1 point by Iowa, 8-7 at halftime. North DeSoto Plaquemine tied in the second quarter, 14 all. First quarter, 7-7. Calvary Baptist and Notre Dame all tied, all knotted up at 7-7. Second quarter, Lafayette Christian, Dunham all knotted up 27-27. That's an interesting ball game. Second quarter, another River Parish team playing tonight. St. James is getting beat by Sterlington 21-18. That was going to be an interesting game tonight because everything we're hearing about Sterlington is they are like the cat's meow, right? They're really, really good, and we all know how good St. James is. Second quarter, in a blowaway, Gina 30-6 over Union Parish. Second quarter in a blowout, Ascension Catholic 27-0 over Westminster Christian. Second quarter, 14-0, another River Parish team right up the road here in reserve. Riverside up 14-7 on Ascension Episcopal. All right, I'm going to get it right. First quarter, Haynesville 6, Jeanerette 6. And second quarter, South Plaquemine is getting beaten by Mangum 14-0. We saw South Plaquemine early in the year get drubbed by another playoff team tonight, Belle Chase, who's in a tight one. So there you go. There's your 16 games right there, either late in the second quarter or at halftime.
Want to remind everybody that you can scan the QR code in the top right corner for all of your screen for all the latest scores from Crescent City Sports on our scoreboard presented by the All-State Sugar Bowl. Let's take a look at a little flashback here. These teams met 2 years ago in the Division III semifinals, and it went to overtime, tied at 7. U-High had it first, but the Comets' Caden Calm blocked a field goal attempt. Then Tyler Miliotto booted a 23-yard field goal to set off the celebration that sent St. Charles Catholic to its 5th straight title game after a 10-7 overtime win.
That was a great ball game. Called that 2 years ago, which sent St. Charles off into the Superdome to win another state championship, and I think that was Wayne Stein's first or second.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago in 2023. Boy, Wayne Stein, 5th year here at St. Charles Catholic, 17 years as an assistant, 15 as the defensive coordinator, worked with Frank Monica. So much knowledge there to learn. And while he was doing that, he was coaching baseball, 300 wins as a baseball coach. Very impressive. And how about Coach Andy Martin? My goodness, what a career he's had. He's in his 6th year as a head coach of University High. 53-19 coaching record, and this is a proud program that has state championships in 1974, 88, 2014, 2017, and 18, and Martin won one in 2021, and really a little upset because they had a 13-year run of semi-final appearances, ended last year with that LHSAA ruling for an ineligible player. And, you know, talking to Coach, we asked him, was that a motivator for this year and maybe getting back to the Dome? And he said, you know, not so much a motivator because each year is different, each team is different. But he said, you know what the team got out of this? And I think this was really interesting. And folks, I think you'll appreciate this. He said, we found out the appreciation of what we had. You really have to appreciate what you had, and then suddenly it's taken away from you for a year.
Right, yeah.
And you don't have it anymore. And he said, because of that, we want to reestablish U-High getting back to, and they're here in the semifinals now, so that would be 14 out of 15. So, you know, after 13 appearances being stepped, so they're here. Now take that next step and try to get to the Dome. And look, even though they're down by 13 right now at halftime, This is an explosive University High team that I don't think could get in rhythm in the first half of this ball game. So how do they get in rhythm in the second half, Wade Kaiser?
And they got to throw the ball on first and second down. That's the way they get in rhythm. They're going to have to throw the ball to be able to get 8 people out of the box from St. Charles. It's going to force them into coverages. It's going to also force them into some blitz packages, which will open some receivers up. And you combine that with nice field position, and you can get back to your running game, which is what they want to do with third and mediums or second and shorts. All that type of stuff will allow you to just get back into some sort of rhythm. But the answer, I believe, is you're going to have to throw the ball on first and definitely some on second down.
Yeah, and I wish we had some official or even unofficial stats to give you. We don't, folks. And but I can tell you time of possession relatively in favor, relatively heavy in favor of St. Charles Catholic. So you've got to find ways to get stops on this St. Charles Catholic offense, take the ball away, punch it out, get fancy. They're going to keep the ball on the ground a whole lot. They're not going to throw it very much. Again, what is Wayne Stein's game plan going into every game? Long 7, 8, 9, 10 play drives, eat up a lot of clock, because if you don't get the touchdown, you've got the great leg of your kicker in Tyler Miliotto, and he's just been perfect. The 2 for 2 on field goals, both of them from 33 yards tonight. His extra points, I mean, he's 49 of 52 coming in here, and he's kicked both of his tonight, so he's now 51 of 54 as a kicker, and he's got 40-yard range. So if you get to the 30, he's good. And if he's feeling it, he's probably good from the 35, maybe even the 40-yard line. And so far what we've seen tonight on his 33-yarders, he's had the range. He's had another 5 or 10 if he needed it. So it's going to be interesting to see. But on St. Charles Catholic, we just haven't had a chance to see, I think, Sage Ingram and Corbin Odell, again, fire and ice together, as they like to call them. We haven't seen them really do a lot. Lawson Dixon had that one great catch for long yardage to get down to the 17-yard line. Next play, of course, Ethan McGlynn get the run and the run in for the score. But my goodness, when you look at it, have we seen enough of Ingram and Odell running the football?
Well, the issue for them is they're not able to block St. Charles's front, right? And until you take that front and move some people out of the box, those heavy fronts, and you either do that by motions, you do that by formation, you got to be able to throw the ball, they've got to be able to respect the pass on first or second down. You're going to have trouble running the ball in long down and distances, because there's just a lot of those black and blue jerseys that are getting home, right, to those two guys. And they're solid running backs, but if there's too many people in that box to block, it's the old number. You can't get them all. And St. Charles Catholic usually is not out of place when they're ready to make a tackle, right? They're always where they need to be and how they need to be in order to make a tackle.
Think of this. Look at the talent on this U-High Cubs team. They signed Lamar Brown, signing today with LSU. Jordan Pennick signed with UL as a defensive lineman. Lawson Dixon signed with Southeastern as a wide receiver. Lane Mixon signed with Northwestern. He's going to play baseball up there. Aaron Moore, the third player in 3 years to sign with the U.S. Naval Academy, and they have one player who just went to the Naval Academy who's not going to play football, but he's going up there not on scholarship. So that's pretty impressive stuff right there. By the way, I think that's something real special when you get 3 years in a row, one of your players going to the Naval Academy. How special is that? Aaron Moore, again, a defensive back, going this year with 4.33 speed, by the way, the fastest player, they tell me, ever at U-High. But 2 years ago, Harry Beecham, and then last year, John Hebert signed with the U.S. Naval Academy. So congratulations to the school for sending 3 people to one of our service academies for 3 years in a row to play football there.
Well, it's a credit to their academics, credit to their coaching staff, as well as their faculty. And, these are 2 great institutions academically.
Well, here's the point, though. When you look at all the people who signed, these guys are on the field. Okay, so go back. Lamar Brown, Jordan Pinnock, Lawson Dixon, Lane Mixon. I don't think we have seen Lawson Dixon really break away. They've got to find a way to get him open. The catch he made, he had three dark jerseys around him, 3 St. Charles Catholic Comet jerseys around him, and he gets up and makes that catch, probably a good 30, 35, 40-yard catch, and then boom. I mean, next play, touchdown. And that's the kind of explosiveness that's possible from this U-High Cubs team. The question is, will we see it, or can St. Charles Catholic bottle that up in the second half? Remember, U-High gets the ball first in the second half. So teams coming back out of the locker rooms. Hope you're enjoying this game as much as we're enjoying bringing it to you. Sorry, folks, if we're a little slow on some of the calls. The St. Charles Catholic Comets decided to wear jerseys that are extremely hard to see, either if we're looking at the monitor that we have or the just looking at them through the windows with all the binoculars we have up here trained on them. And sometimes it's still just a little difficult to see. You know, I'll never know, just personally, talking to the people out there, why would a coach do that? Why make it hard so that people can't identify your players? Let the kids shine, man. But that's just me as an announcer, and you sometimes as an announcer. You didn't do that when you were coaching. You always had strong contrasting numbers at Jesuit and St. Charles Catholic. And, I'd go to the litany of all the other places.
Everywhere I had strong contrasting numbers.
And I'd bring up all those schools, but we'd be here through the third quarter. So.
Oh, Lord, there we go. But anyway.
Ken Berthelot and Wade Kaiser, folks. We're having a good time here. And by the way, Chip and Matt Merritt on camera and producing. And Rick Thompson, good to have him spotting. Boy, he's earning it tonight. And so, as he and I spin this ball game through binoculars when St. Charles Catholic has the ball, trying to figure out who's got it. But this is a good ball game, and I just think you're going to see. Well, let me ask you. You're the coach. What does Andy Martin do differently to free up this talent he's got, so that they can be a little bit more explosive? And maybe score first. They score first. This is a whole new ball game, and they get the ball first.
Well, again, like I said, offensively, they want to run the football, but not all the time can you run the football against such a good front where the numbers are outnumbering you in the box. So how do you get those numbers out of the box?
Yes.
You motion them out, you formation them out, and you've got to be able to throw the ball to get them out. And that's what I think you will see more of in the second half by U-High. That should help open up the run game with Ingram and Odell. And the next thing, he's got to do a sell job to his kids, right? He needs to do a sell job that, hey, you can play with these guys, because they, St. Charles came out and slapped them and punched them pretty hard, right? They finally answered. You answered. You now know you can play with these guys. Let's go out on this drive, stick something in the end zone, and get back in this football game.
Hey, another one, about 25 miles, 30 miles to the east of here. Big game going on a Friday night that's not a high school game, and that's Tulane hosting North Texas in the American Conference Championship game. The last score we saw, Tulane was leading 14-7. And that's in the second quarter, about halfway through the second quarter. So big game there, because Tulane's faced with stopping one of the most explosive offenses in college football in North Texas. So looks like they've got, so far, they have it under control. And that's a team that you've got to force a few turnovers to stop. So good luck to the Green Wave. Good luck to North Texas. And they've got a big one going there. We've got a big one going here. University High Cubs, you're looking at them right now on your monitor. They're out of the locker room, stretching a little bit. Keep your eyes on number 55 among the many signees. That's Lamar Brown, second best player in the country, number 1 lineman in the country. Lane Kiffin wanted to make sure he was going to stay with his LSU commitment, and he did. He didn't sign on signing day on Wednesday, but signed either late last night or this morning. I saw it break today. And the most important thing is number 55. He's number 55 for the Cubs. He's in a 5 jersey all over social media. That's going to be his number at LSU. So he loves the 5s.
Well, he was holding out for the 5, like I said. So he said, look, and just give me the 5 and I'll sign. So, and I'm saying that in today's realm with everything going on with NIL and all that type of stuff with my tongue in cheek, right? So,
Right.
but this is great for LSU. This is great for Lane Kiffin with his first signing class, picking up the 2 best defensive linemen in the nation. Lamar Brown, and then obviously the young man from Carr in New Orleans who signed on early signing date on Tuesday. I mean, they were number, depending on which list you were looking at, right? One on one list is one on the other list is 2.
If anybody was going to hold out from Carr, the only reason why they were going to hold out was to see if Edna Carr was accepted into the Southeastern Conference, and they just stayed together.
No, they've been accepted back into the Catholic League, where they wanted to be and where they needed to be, with reclassification finishing up today, or should I say yesterday, with all appeals being heard, and some people got their wishes, some people didn't get their wishes. Kind of like Christmas, right? You open up the package, and instead of getting the BB gun you wanted, you got a pair of pajamas. Right? So in that instance, not everybody got their wishes with reclassification.
Yeah, but your parents are still mad at you for taking your pajamas out into the backyard, borrowing somebody's BB gun and shooting holes in them. So that wasn't real.
You got to put your eye out with that thing.
You didn't
right?
you didn't make Santa's nice list with that. So, all right, U-High had originally won the toss. They had deferred and kicked off the St. Charles Catholic, who got a 69-yard return and then a 23-yard run on those 2 opening plays of this game. It was 7-0 St. Charles Catholic. And now we are getting ready to see U-High return from the same side of the field that St. Charles Catholic got that 69-yard return on. Emmanuel Moses is deep. And let's see if U-High can start the second half, maybe the way St. Charles Catholic started the first. Eliotto usually gets it deep, and it's going to Moses at the 5-yard line. And he's trying to pick a seam, can't do it, but will get it out to near the 20-yard line. So not bad starting field position for the Cubs, and let's see how they get things going here in this second half.
Great coverage again by the St. Charles Catholic coverage teams. They've done a nice job all night, making sure everything is bottled up tight for the U-High returners.
U-High with McGlynn at quarterback. Quick toss this time, and he hits William Martin, the coach's son, Andy Martin's son, his first target and reception of this game, but he'll get a few on it out to about the 24-yard line, so a gain of 4. And good to see Andy Martin as a senior this year. Boy, Coach said he's my son, been around the program for 16 years. I'm going to miss him so much when he's gone. How's this for a big hole? U-High needed this big explosive play. Look at this. They can't stop him. Sage Ingram finally pushed out of bounds from the 24-yard line. You needed the explosive play, and they got it as Preston Call finally pushed him out.
Well, 2 things. First play, they spread the formation and they throw the football against the 7-man box. Same formation on the second play. It opens up the run.
A 55-yard gain. This one he'll just have to throw away as Ethan McGlynn was under pressure and tosses it out to the right side.
So St. Charles brings a blitz package on first down against the spread formation. It's ever a chess game, right? That time they brought the blitz package with Caden Acevedo coming off of his left edge, the defensive end, outside linebacker. He got home to put pressure on Ethan McGlynn to throw that ball away, but there's a flag against University High. It was motion, and they're going to back it up 5 yards.
Did we have a flag? We had one flag picked up in the first half. That was a clean first half of football. One penalty?
Shh, don't say anything.
Shouldn't have said it, huh?
Don't say it.
Oh,
don't say it, right? Now everybody's going to start making penalties, right?
Lord.
But it puts University behind the sticks tonight for the first time, I believe, offensively for them.
Well, Sage Ingram answered what St. Charles Catholic did to start this game with their big 69-yard return. He gets a 55 right off the bat.
Look at the light box. You see the light box? You got 6 in the box. That's a light box. That spells run.
Let's see if McGlynn's going to do it. He's going to hand off to Ingram, but he's stopped at the line of scrimmage. Somebody got him down low right at the 25-yard line, and that makes the difference right there.
Well, that's all great and fine, a six-man box, but you got to block it, right? If you don't block it, you can't run the football.
Acevedo is the one who made the stop.
So you spread, like we said, you spread the formations, you throw the ball once, it gets St. Charles out of the heavy box, gets them in the light box, they run the football, but you don't block anybody.
McGlynn will hand it off to Odell. Odell around the right side. He's back to the original line of scrimmage and maybe just one or two more, and it's going to bring up third down now. Dax Prejean made the tackle.
But this is a third and manageable. This is something they can do. Or is it? No, I'm sorry, it's a third and long. It's third and 9. It's third and long.
So let's see what they'll go with on third down 9. Quick snap, McGlynn. He's looking. He's being protected well by his offensive line. Now here comes pressure, and he's just got to unload it and throw it away out of bounds on the right side. That's going to bring up fourth down.
St. Charles jumps into man coverage. First time we've seen that tonight out of the black and blue jerseys, right? They jump into man coverage. They've got everything covered up on a three-man route down into the short side of the field. You just don't want to run that right into the corner because what happens? It gets constricted and it's easy to cover. You don't need as many defenders down there. You run that to the wide side of the field. Now they're
going
to the wide side of the field.
9. They're not going to settle for the field goal. They're going forward on 4th and 9. Let's see if they might just be trying to, again, 4th and 9, you might just be looking for a little bit of extra yardage here if you can draw them offside. It's not going to get you the first down, but maybe get you a little bit closer. Timeout called. Whose timeout? Is this St. Charles Catholic? It's going to be University High timeout. Or was that an official's timeout?
No, that was an official's timeout.
That was an official's timeout, not University High timeout. And they'll put that one back on the board. So here we go. 4th down. The officials get everything correct. Spot and all. Here comes some pressure. McGlynn throws. He's got a man wide open. Caught at the 9-yard line and pushed out of bounds at about the 2. That's going to be enough for a first down. And how big a catch is that by Cade Minshew?
They run the route to the wide side of the field. Look at the room Minshew has to work with over here. He can get away from the zone coverage that St. Charles was sitting in right there and find the nice open spot for McGlynn to put the ball on him.
Ingram, the running back. This one is going to go straight in the Wildcat to Odell, and Odell pushes forward, and he is into the end zone, huh? Did he get it? Yes, touchdown. How about that? Look at this one on replay. This Carbon Odell
out of the Wildcat
and pushes into the end zone for the score.
Everything opens up because University High comes out throwing the football a little bit out of some spread formations. It automatically opens up the run game and gives them light boxes to work with. Great adjustment at halftime by the University High offensive staff.
Boy, that it was made possible by that big third down pass to Minshew. Then Odell scores out of the Wildcat. Here comes the point after by Melanson. It is up and it is good. And just like that, U-High did what they had to do coming out of the locker room at halftime. They took the opening kickoff of the second half and they drove it down for the score, and that makes it a 20-14 ball game.
Well, they're right back in it, and that was a great offensive drive by the Cubs, all set up again by being able to use your formations to be able to get yourself boxes that you can work with and coverages that you can work with, and then being very, very sharp with the throwing game.
Tonight's coverage on Crescent City Sports is brought to you by Game On Social Hub at 2421 Veterans in Kenner. With a full-service restaurant, arcade games, bowling, Wade Kaiser's favorite game, axe throwing, and laser tag. Game On has it all. They're open till midnight tonight and on Monday nights at 6. Join Ken Trahan with special guest for the Saints Hall of Fame show on 106.7 The Ticket, live from Game On Social Hub. Boy, he's had some good guests on Monday nights.
Yes, he has, and they do an excellent job with that, and it's really, really interesting to listen to. I've listened a few times, and I need to go see it in person.
So University High is pulled within 6 now of St. Charles Catholic. Taken at the about 12-yard line, and a pretty decent return out past the 30. Aaron Moore on the stop. So St. Charles Catholic now, how will they respond on their first offensive possession of the second half, starting from their own 31-yard line?
Well, you should see much of the same with what St. Charles is going to want to do. They're going to run their cross motions, move people around, try to lighten the university box and be able to run inside and outside in between the tackles and try to then get the ball out on the flank and get away from the heavy box.
Landry LeBlanc looked like he was going to throw, then just tucked it under and went straight ahead past the 35, runs into Caden Sims-Grassi. That'll bring up second down at about 6.
Well, they'll tweak a few things. They might give you a little bit different formation, but it's all going to be the same thing, right? You're going to get a heavy dose of Landry LeBlanc and Skylar Edwards, and when they have to get the ball out of his hands and throw the football, they're looking for Walker LeBlanc. So you're going to see the same stuff in the second half from the Comets.
So keep an eye on Walker LeBlanc, number 18. He won't get it this time. This is just going straight ahead. And that is Skylar Edwards on the run for the first down. And again, this is just classic St. Charles Catholic football. Pound it up the middle, run it outside if you have to. Don't throw it unless it's absolutely necessary. Eat some clock and protect the lead. So here we go. Bunched backfield. And right up the middle again. And the U-High Cubs stuff it, but not until Edwards gets about 4 or 5 more. Upton led the tackle charge for the Cubs.
Look, they do we're talking about St. Charles Catholic here. Their offensive line is so well coached. They do such a good job when they pull on the counter. Right there, they pull the guard and the tackle. They get the nice kick out and the double team at the point of attack. Edwards hugs the double team as he's taught, and they picking up positive yardage.
You notice they're blocking the LSU signee pretty good. They're keeping him out of the action. Here's good play action. Now he'll throw to the left side. Has a man complete. That's another first down. And that was a pretty play action play. That a fake that really kind of froze some linebackers and defensive backs on that one. And good gain there by St. Charles Catholic.
That was Gabe Kugler, the tight end, running the drag route, climbing the drag route to the open spot in man coverage. Ball was delivered well by Landry LeBlanc. Started with the protection. Nice job, again, on the protection by the offensive line.
At the 39-yard line, first down of U-High. And good fake by LeBlanc. Look at this. Breaks through. He's going to go all the way for a touchdown. Landry LeBlanc, 39 yards for the score on a great fake. He kept it, and boy, the hole opened up.
Where have we seen this before? Back in the first quarter, first offensive play of the game, correct? You fake the jet sweep, you run the quarterback ISO right up the gap, you double team big number 55 Lamar Brown, put 2 people on him, get a duo block on him, and LeBlanc's off to the races.
Tyler Miliotto to attempt the point after. Kicked up and good. And with 7:01 to play in the third quarter, St. Charles Catholic has widened the lead to 2 scores again with a 27-14 lead over the University High Cubs. And their running game of the Comets is just explosive.
Well, the pass to Gabe Kugler was the catalyst in that drive, right? Gabe Kugler, comes in with 272 yards on the season, lined up at tight end, runs the high drag across the middle, gets loose. What a great pass by LeBlanc to put the ball on him, and he moves the chains, gets down deep into University territory, and then what do you see? You see the quarterback counter ISO again, and LeBlanc takes it all the way into the end zone.
We don't say enough about the play that sets up the touchdown. Coming out of the halftime locker room, it was the catch by Cade Minshew that got U-High in position for the score by Odell out of the Wildcat, and then we turn right around, and as you said, it was the pass to Kugler, and then all of a sudden, boom, you're out, and your quarterback can do the rest. LeBlanc takes it, 39 yards for the score. 27-14, Cubs have some work to do, still in the third quarter. Short kick to the 21, Sky kicked that one, and a good catch and return up to the 35. So real good field position. That time Sage Ingram on the return.
Best starting position all night for University High off of a kickoff, right? So here they go. You know, they need to stay with the same formula that they used just before halftime and coming out of halftime with. Spread the formations, get the ball outside on the boundary, throw the football a little bit vertically, and then attack a light box with your running game.
Minshew has been the man. He is spread wide to your left. He's got some big catches in this game. 2 wideouts to the top of your screen, too. They're going to keep it on the ground. Here comes the run pushing forward. And nowhere to go for Sage Ingram. Got a few, but not enough. Brings Anderson, stood him up, and moved him back.
Yeah, Anderson was there, and so was Brooks Monica, right? Boy, Brooks Monica's a good linebacker. Look, I know he's Frank's grandson, and he's Ty's son, right? But I can't say enough about how tough this kid is, man.
Oh, and he's number 7. You just keep an eye. He'll be around the ball all the time. Leading tackler this year, was the leading tackler last year, and this time on the run, Ethan McGlynn just runs it out of bounds on the far side. Gets some positive yardage, but it's bringing up a third down, and you've got to move the chains. You know what? He stepped out a whole lot further back than what I thought he did. So they're actually marking it at the 39. I thought he had gotten about 4 more yards on that, but this makes it third and really long, 3rd and 6. Minshew has single coverage down to the left. Now he's getting a little safety help to come over and cover. He's going to go to the right side. Caught, and what a smash. My goodness. But what a catch at the 46-yard line.
Well, you got a couple flags down. The only thing I can think is
helmet to helmet.
Well, yeah, it could be. Well, they don't have that in high school. Let's see what it is. A personal foul is what it would be if it was a helmet to helmet, but they don't call it helmet to helmet in high school. I don't think that we get a signal yet. It was a great hit.
Was that Dixon on the far side?
They're going to call a personal foul somehow on the contact. Remember, in high school, there's no helmet to helmet. There's no review. There's no you're out of the game or anything of that nature. It's just a personal foul that they will, of course, call and then move the ball the 15 yards. I think it looked like a correct call, folks.
So Minshew, Martin, and Dixon all down to the bottom side of your screen this time on 1st down and 10 after that long call to the 32-yard line. And the pass is going to Ingram. And Ingram is down to the 25 and maybe down to the 24-yard line. Let's see where they mark it as we go just past the halfway mark of the third quarter.
There's Dax Prejean again on that hit that he had the personal foul on, made a tackle again right there.
Ingram on the run. Sage Ingram this time caught, and he'll lose a few on that. Caden Acevedo.
Caden Acevedo comes from the backside and chases down Ingram for no gain. Acevedo's playing well. He's quick. You know, he's a little light in the tail, 5'10", 177 pounds. But, boy, is he cat quick coming off that edge. He does a nice job doing the things that he needs to do to protect his weight, should we say.
3rd down and 3. 4 wide receivers to the right side. Now Ingram shifts back to his running back position, gets the handoff, has a big hole left side, spins past the 20, and that spin move may have got him the 1st down. That is going to be very, very close. And he does move the chains on a much-needed 1st down for University High.
Well, he runs right through the arms of Tyler Bovia, spins out of it, as you said. You'll see it right there. Bovia can't come up with the wrap-up, and he gets pulled down from behind again.
He's going to take a breather. Ingram out for just a little while. He trots to the sideline, and instead they give it to Odell. Odell with a big hole, crashes right up the middle. Odell to the end zone. Touchdown! 18 yards by Carbon Odell. The other part of Fire and Ice. Fire went out, Ice came in, Ice goes 18 yards for the score.
The other thing that University High has learned is they need to play with tempo, and they are playing with tempo.
Yes.
They're speeding things up, slowing things down, speeding things up. That is a part of their tempo that is keeping St. Charles off balance, right? And St. Charles hasn't come up with an answer yet in these two drives for the tempos that University High has found is throwing at them right now.
Andy Martin, William Martin, the son of Andy Martin, is the holder. And Mason Melasaw in to kick the point after. He puts it up, and it is good. And just like that, it's a one-score game again, 27-21. Each team has scored on each possession they have had in the second half.
Well,
U-High has had 2, St. Charles has had 1, and we've had 3 touchdowns in the second half.
It's turning into a boxing match now, right? So whereas, St. Charles came out in the first half and just, almost canvassed University High, they've gotten themselves up off the ground, and they are fighting back and punching back. So whatever Andy Martin said at halftime to his U-High Cubs, he has lit a fire under them. But more than anything else, 3 things helping them offensively. Number 1, spreading the formations out to get a light box.
Yep.
Number 2, throwing the ball, mixing the ball on passes on first and second down, which they've done to create a light box. 3, they're running the ball against that light box with some success, and they're using tempo to do it. These are all things that St. Charles needs to adjust then. I'm sure they've talked about it with their defense on the boundary. It'll be interesting to see how they come out next time and answer those tempos.
Prejean, Edwards, and Gros, or LeBlanc, are deep. And here is the U-High kick. It's going to be to the 10-yard line, and I believe it's Edwards taking it out. Oh, and they bring him down. Flags go down. That's going to be a face mask. They got his face mask on that one coming down, so that's going to tack on more yardage. Kristen McLean on the return there.
Yeah, they're going to get it with the face mask. I think that's going to be the 15-yard variety. See if we can get a number on the face mask. Maybe right there, number 24, Lorenzo Cooper got a whole handful of metal, right? Decided to pull him down by the face mask. They're going to mark off 15.
Oh, there you see the officials tonight are from the Monroe Association, the Monroe, Louisiana Officials Association. Well, you didn't want to give up that, but mistakes will happen as you go grabbing for bodies and shoulder pads, and that's going to move it out to the 41-yard line with the penalty. 46-yard line with the penalty. Yardage. So Landry LeBlanc has the ball get right by him. LeBlanc picks it up at the 35, and he is just smothered. Big loss on the play. All the way back to, let's see where they're going to mark it, at the 33-yard line.
Well, he wasn't ready for the snap.
Loss of 13.
I don't know if he was in the middle of making an audible, a change of the play. I don't know if he was getting a play off the boundary, what was happening, but all of a sudden that ball came zipping by him, and the only thing he could do was turn around, run, and get on it, right? And he made the right decision. Don't try to turn in a disaster into a catastrophe, but it's going to be second in an Uber ride for St. Charles.
Yeah, second and 22. Evan Dufour just trotted in with a play from the sideline, and this one's going to be blown dead, flag down, and I believe we hit some movement. So St. Charles Catholic kind of going in the wrong direction here.
They're a little flustered right now.
They lost 13 on the bad snap and add 5 more to that. So that Uber ride just became
A jet ride, right?
Yeah, it became the Amtrak ride to Mobile.
Well, you could see the body language. Look at the body language out there of both teams, right? Whereas you saw U-High in the middle of the second quarter was kind of hanging their heads. They're uplifted now. You know, St. Charles's body language always good. So, you know, we got ourselves a heavyweight fight going on.
LeBlanc has a little bit of running room, and boy, that hole closed quickly as he crosses the 30 and gets back to about the 31-32, and he is still way behind the chains.
And we got another flag down. Didn't you say something about a flag?
Do I have to admit it?
Yeah, you do. All of a sudden, you said something about a flag. We're getting flags now all over the place.
I should have never said that. Golly, man, blame me. God dog it. Bradley Goodson led the charge for the tackle there. Let's see what we have.
Well, they're going to move it back. They're going to decline that, which I would too, and just bring up the next down, right? But illegal procedure. Something's going on right now. They're befuddled talking about St. Charles Catholic. What you do is you run the ball right here. Just get some positive yardage from the line of scrimmage just to settle your kids down.
2nd down and 27 from the 33-yard line of St. Charles Catholic for the Comets. And he's just going to dump it off right side. Somebody got a tip on that, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
They did. Yep.
That was number 51 got the tip. Jordan Pinnock, who's played a nice game tonight. He's had a couple nice tackles. He's a senior, 6'5", 230 pounds. Got his big paw up and knocked that screenplay down. Watch how Pinnock right here jumps up, gets his left hand up, and ball just floats to the ground. So, punting for the St. Charles Catholic Comets, I think the first time tonight.
Punting for the first time tonight, Dax Prejean, the punter, on 4th and 27.
U-High's going to get great field position off of this.
From the Comets 33. Big rush, almost got it. Prejean just gets it off. It's going to get a great St. Charles Catholic roll. Then all of a sudden checks up dead at about the 32-yard line. That sucker looked like it was going to roll another 5 or 10 yards and just checked up, kaboom. But again, U-High, good field position, and that's the first time somebody who had the ball didn't score a touchdown. So U-High's defense stepped up when they had it, when they had to. It's a one-score game, and U-High's got the football.
We're going to have a flag on this punt return. It was right about midfield. It might have been a block in the back. So they're going to tack that onto the punt against University High, because that goes as a post-possession penalty, and it will be tacked on to University High. It is a holding.
Yeah, that's going to be a big one. Well, that's about where if the ball wouldn't have checked up, I think the way it was rolling, that's about where it would have rolled on the punt anyway. So if you look at it like that, it's a wash. But let's see what University High can do with the football right now. They trail by 6, 27-21, have never led in this ball game. But here we are with 3:21 in the third quarter. And U-High right now with the momentum. Ethan McGlynn, first-year starter, a senior, served his time as a backup, did a lot of mop-up rolls, did everything asked. He waited for this year. He's got it. He's answered the call at quarterback. He hands it off. Run over the right side, nothing fancy, and all you're trying to do is make it work. Ingram did right there, and Aaron Hill made the stop.
Well, Aaron Hill comes up from his safety position. Did you see the jump cut in the backfield by Ingram? Nice footwork by that young man.
Minshew in motion. Hand off Ingram, straight ahead, thought he had a hole. Somebody reached out, got low, stopped him for not much. That was Jaira Hall.
Backup linebacker in there getting a little play in time. You see, University by formationing is running against light boxes. When you get 6-man boxes, you need to run the football with your two guys.
3rd down 2. And this is, well, you hate to say it, but in this game, 3rd down and 2, you've got to move the chains. Handoff, caught in the backfield, nowhere to go. My goodness. What a big play right there by Cole Hebert.
Hey, I want everybody to look at the replay. They run a little nose tackle twist right there. Cole Hebert gets loose through the A-gap on the twist inside. Nobody picks him up. It confuses the U-High offensive line, and he bangs up the running back in the backfield on the third and short, and forces University High to punt.
Back to punt, but you know this might not be one. They've faked it twice so far in this game, but this one will go to Melanson. He will punt it away. It will take a bounce and get a U-High roll past the 35 and down to about the 32-yard line. So good punt by the U-High Cubs. And in the final minute and a half, with 3 more seconds, 1:33 in the third quarter, each offense was finally stopped by the other team's defense. Let's see if St. Charles Catholic can get something rocking and rolling here on this possession.
Well, they can't go backwards like they did on their last series, right? They were put into with 2 penalties, put into a really bad situation, a couple incomplete passes, and a bad snap, right? So going back under center, that'll take care of that.
From the 32-yard line, they'll keep it on the ground. St. Charles Catholic's favorite play, run right up the middle if you can. They'll unstack a big pile there with not much going.
You know, how old school still is Wayne Stein? How old school still is Wayne Stein from the standpoint that
Frank Monica, old school.
He's still. You're still taking a snap underneath center, right? As well as when you're in a gun. So being able to teach your kids both ways, I think, pays dividends in the long run for your offense, right? With these teams that just do everything out of gun, can't take a snap under center when they have to.
And again, right up the middle, nothing fancy. They're just going with Skylar Edwards again. Sims Grassi made the stop. Caden Sims Grassi, the junior linebacker. Now that brings up third down. So what U-High faced moments ago and was thrown for a loss in the backfield, St. Charles Catholic is now facing. They give the ball to Evan Dufour. Nope, Landry LeBlanc. Left side. And he's got the first down by a half yard. My goodness.
Well, they spread the formation, right? They take somebody out of the box from U-High, so they get a light box. They go empty formation. What does that spell? That spells quarterback run for Landry LeBlanc. And he goes off tackle with the nice scheme that St. Charles blocks at the point of attack. It's a first down by a half a yard. You're correct.
Now that's going to bring the third quarter to a close. New life as the chains move for St. Charles Catholic. And we have played 3 in the road to the Superdome to see who is going to meet the winner of the Archbishop Shaw Vanderbilt Classic, a Vanderbilt Catholic game in the Prep Classic. There we go.
And we have a third quarter score from Archbishop Shaw High School. It's 10-0. The Shaw Eagles are currently beating Vanderbilt Catholic in the middle of the third quarter. So,
wow, so Shaw with the look, that's your defending state champions. So right now they are in control over Vanderbilt Catholic. One of these schools will meet them a week from tonight, next Friday night, in the Louisiana Superdome in the Prep Classic. 1st and 10 for St. Charles Catholic from the 43-yard line. Boy, that's nowhere going. Guess who got him right there? That is Lamar Brown. We're seeing some classic Lamar Brown LSU signee.
Look, you can't run away from him. You got to run at him. Watch him chase him down from behind. He's up at the top of your screen at the 3 technique. He just goes around the back block, right? It's counter. Center blocks back on him. He goes around him like an athlete and pulls down the running back. You got to run at him. You can't run away from him.
Fake to Dufour, throw out to the left side. That is caught for a few. That may have been Walker LeBlanc. It was Walker LeBlanc for a loss of 2. Aaron Moore on the tackle. That's the young man who signed with the U.S. Naval Academy.
Look, that play's tough to run when you're in press man, right? Aaron Moore up in the face of LeBlanc and is right in his back hip as they're trying to run the tunnel screen. That's a tough combination. You know, you need to be able to check out of that to something different. If you got one-on-one like that, take your shot or do something along those lines. You just can't. It's tough to run that tunnel screen.
Third down, 15. Look out. He needs help. He throws it, but that's going to be way short of the first down, and the U-High defense is held. But wait a minute. A flag is on the play as Ben Picarella makes the tackle. We've got a yellow flag down.
You're going to get Lyman downfield on St. Charles because I think he catches the ball past the line of scrimmage.
Well, right now you're looking at fourth and 12.
Lyman downfield.
There you go.
That's what it was. It was set up as a screen, right? The play's going to be declined. The penalty's going to be declined, as it should be. It was tunnel screen, very well defended by U-High. So what does Landry LeBlanc do? He makes something out of nothing. He sees his cousin running all the way across the formation, dumps the ball to him as a continuation of the play. The problem is he was already past the line of scrimmage with the lineman downfield on the screen to the opposite side of the field.
Dax Prejean for only his second punt of the night. Back-to-back punts by St. Charles Catholic. Fair catch called for and made just inside the 35-yard line in U-High territory. U-High trailing by 6. 10 minutes and 20 seconds to play. And U-High has the football with great field position. I want to remind everybody that tonight's coverage on Crescent City Sports is brought to you by Lamarck Crescent City Ford, the Commercial Vehicle Center at 6121 Jefferson Highway in Harahan. Lamarck Crescent City Ford, we got a truck for that, says Ronnie Lamarck. 1st and 10 at the 34-yard line for U-High, their own territory. Pass left side. That is caught by Minshew, and Minshew, check that. That was Lawson Dixon on the catch.
I love it. Quick screen out there to your best wide receiver. What does it do? It moves the sticks for you automatically. That's just like a run play, as I said, a nice toss sweep out there and get your guy involved quickly.
Oh, look at U-High. Here we go again. This is Sage Ingram on the run. Ingram near the 40-yard line, mark it at the 41-yard line, and now U-High eating up territory, moving the chains on their first two or their last two possessions right there, their last two downs. They're up tempo right now. Tempo playing, look at this, up the middle, and tempo's working for him big time. That's Ingram again, limping a little bit as he gets up. Let's see if he's going to stay in or come out. He's staying in there. Again, quickly to the line. It's working for U-High. They're going fast. Hand off to Ingram, and he stumbles forward near the 30-yard line where he's stopped by Briggs Anderson. That was on second. That's going to be very close to a first. Wait, go ahead.
By throwing the ball out there real quickly on the very first play of the series, it has loosened things up for them to be able to run the ball in between the tackles. They're finding some success with that, and they're staying in between the chains, and it's bringing up a third manageable. Combine that with the tempo, they have St. Charles on their heels.
Third and maybe a little bit less than one. Oh, they're going to go straight ahead with Carbon O'Dell, and O'Dell's hit pushed back, and he did not get it. They're marking it just in front of the first down marker. Tyler Bovia first to hit him.
And Bovia does a great job to stack him up right there, gets off the block, and then he holds him up just long enough to get everybody else in there. You're going to see University High go for this. This is one of the major plays for University High in this football game.
4th down, 1. Everybody stacked up. O'Dell from the Wildcat. Does he have the first? He's hit, and it looks like he's got enough for the first down at the 31-yard line. Let's wait for the official's spot.
They're going to measure this. Great job by Brooks Monica getting out there and making the first contact. They get into the Wildcat. We saw this earlier in the half. Great job by Odell fighting strong, but look at the pursuit of everybody out there in the black and blue jerseys.
And Odell's such a good finisher on runs. They haven't thrown to him a whole lot. He's got great hands. Started out as a lineman, found out that he had the talent to be a running back, and then figured out it's a whole lot more fun to be a running back. Did not make it. Wow. By the spot of the football, it goes over to St. Charles Catholic on downs. My goodness.
Hey, that could be the play of the season for St. Charles, right? They've had a lot of them in their 11-1 season up to this point, but you can put that one probably in the chest as one of the big plays so far in this season for the Comets. When you hold somebody like that on fourth down in such a big semifinal game, take a look at it again. Brooks Monica scrapes across the top and then bow, meets him right there with a great form tackle, holds him up just long enough to get everybody, as I said, in those black and blue jerseys there to combine in, and he comes up just about a half yard short. What a play defensively by the St. Charles Comets.
Well, the officials were talking.
They're figuring out where they're going for dinner.
No,
they got to go back to Monroe. They got to eat.
Coach Andy Martin wasn't happy.
I wouldn't be happy either. He thinks he got messed up on the spot, right?
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, that's the bottom line. He thought the spot was poor.
He thought the spot was poor,
so
without question.
Right, he has to fight for his team. I would be fighting for my team, too.
Up here, what did we think? We thought that he had just made it. Yeah, but, I mean, we don't have an angle now.
Exactly.
We are at a bad angle on that, folks. It's a first down. It is a wide left run. Second effort, not getting to the 30-yard line on that. The defense for the Cubs stepped up big time.
That was Evan Dufour on that carry.
Evan Dufour on the run.
Great job on the run by Evan Dufour, just fighting to try to get out there, right? But he gets slowed down by the penetration by DJ Coleman coming up from his strong safety spot, right? But it's going to put them behind the chains.
Second down, 12. From their own 29-yard line. And this time it's just Landry LeBlanc faking the handoff and then keeping, but he's not going to get very much. He gets back to maybe the original line of scrimmage, and that's it. Talamasi Albert. Talamisi made the stop.
Commonly known as the bus.
The bus.
48 tackles on the season, 2 sacks. Add another one to his stat count, right? Brings up 3rd and long.
Boy, you got a lot of fresh players bringing plays in for St. Charles Catholic. 3rd down and 10 from the 31-yard line of the Comets. Landry LeBlanc with the roll. Here comes pressure, and they almost knocked the ball out of his hand. They do, but he goes out of bounds. And that was Lane Mixon coming hard to make the play.
Yeah, he's the tackle leader, right? They blitz Lane Nixon, number 4. And you can also see, guess who, chasing him down, Lamar Brown, right? You can't run away from the guy. So you got 2 of the fastest guys on University's high team. One happens to be 6'5", 300 pounds, chasing you down. You need to run a little bit faster.
Say that again. One happens to be the second best player in the country.
Right.
Who's going to LSU.
You got to be a little bit faster, Landry LeBlanc,
and
right?
Best lineman in the country, second best player in the country, if I have those numbers correct.
But that just goes to show to the point that he's the type of cat you don't run away from.
Timeout called, but I'm not sure who called it. We have a player down.
Yeah, he's down on right there on St. Charles' sideline. He was blocked by the players.
We couldn't see him by the players.
Oh, and look who it is.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, Lamar Brown. Yeah. I think
he's up and limping, but he's okay. He's walking it off now and looking good.
Yeah, he'll be back running things down here soon.
Take a good look at him, folks. 55 will wear number 5 in an LSU jersey. He's going to be fun to watch.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Boy, is he going to be fun to watch for the Tigers and Lane Kiffin, huh?
He and the young man from Carr are going to make a great duo. Second time St. Charles will be punting tonight.
big rush. And they might have gotten a little piece of that one. It's going to take a St. Charles bounce. Boy, not sure if somebody got a little piece of it, but it'll be down at the 49-yard line. And U-High has got absolutely great field position with 7 minutes and 3 seconds to play, trailing by 6. They have never led in this game. Take a look at.
Well, nobody got. It's a shank.
He saw the rush coming.
It's you hitting a bad 9-iron.
Yes.
But there you go.
Or 8, or 7, or 6.
Right.
Yeah.
That's U-High taking over at midfield, man. This is great field position for these guys.
Hey, how about this U-High defense has forced 3 punts in a row after giving up the opening touchdown in the second half?
Well, they switched it into another gear. Whatever Andy Martin said to these guys at halftime definitely has worked, right? And the elixir is these guys are playing now with more emotion and more urgency.
All right, great field position at their own 49-yard line. And McGlynn throws left side, got his man. That might be enough to move the chains, and it will. That is a first down catch. How about that to Minshew? Lawson Dixon.
It's Lawson Dixon again, yeah. Favorite target for McGlynn on first down.
Now Minshew's over on that side. And look at McGlynn go left side. He's unstoppable. Finally pushed out of bounds, and these are just big gains, but hold everything. A flag is down.
Well, number one, that might be on the boundary because he's telling everybody to get back. So what might end up taking place, that might be some sort of warning. But look at McGlynn; everything's covered. He just bolts out of there. He's done a lot with his legs this year when he's had to, and there's another example of it when it's not open. He takes off. Sideline warning.
Now we're looking at the referee from the, again, Monroe, Louisiana Officials Association, working this game in South Louisiana.
Things getting a little chippy and heated over there.
And that's just with the coaches and officials, right?
Well, it looks like they just threw somebody off the boundary over there.
That's not the coaches over there, folks, okay? Don't know if they remove somebody or not.
Here we go. Here's our call. It's a personal foul, face mask against St. Charles Catholic.
Wow.
He got a tack on 15 more yards to the end of the run. There was also a sideline warning to get people that were outside of the box back off the field because there was almost a player that ran into somebody over there and could have possibly hurt somebody watching the game as well as the player.
From the 10. Right side run by Ingram. Creed Marix, that other linebacker, along with Brooks Monica, number 7, number 44. Those two guys all over the place. From the 8. Here's the toss left side, and that's caught by Dixon. Dixon with a few extra yards. Boy, they're making the run down there.
I can see why Southeastern likes this guy and offered him, right? He can make things happen when he has the ball in his hands. He's deceptive, runs great routes.
From the 5-yard line, handoff Odell, straight ahead, but he falls down as he goes, pushed with extra effort, but he went down at the 4-yard line.
Looked like the ball came out as he went down. They're calling him down with the ball. It went into the end zone, but they call him down at the 4-yard line.
Yeah, they mark as soon as he went down. The official on our side, the linesman on our side, had his foot down, had the mark down at the 4. So it's 4th down. 4th down. They can make a first. In trouble. He's just going to throw. Has a man caught, petted, and he is smothered. Briggs Anderson led the charge. Petted on the catch.
Well, it was the blitz that came off the edge. Nobody touched the blitzing strong safety off the edge, applying the pressure there for St. Charles. That looked like that was Preston Kahn that was coming from his strong safety position. And then the only thing that McGlynn could do was dump it off to Pettit, and Pettit just gets smothered. Another fourth down stand for this St. Charles defense. They've done it all year, and they've come up big in the past 2 series tonight. If they win this thing in the next 5 minutes, it's going to get down to their defense doing the job on 4th down here tonight.
5 minutes and 6 seconds. Under center this time for Landry LeBlanc. He will hand it off. Big hole up the middle, and there goes a run up the middle. That one's Skylar Edwards.
Well, they got to get the ball out of the back of their end zone, right? It's giving themselves a little bit of breathing room, but more than anything else, they've got to wear off 4 minutes and 42 seconds on a clock.
Look, you've got an experienced offensive line with 3 seniors, 2 juniors. They've played together for a long time. They just opened up a gaping hole when you needed it the most. Landry LeBlanc will stay under center on 2nd down and 1. He'll hand it off again. Nothing fancy. There's your 1st down. And again, St. Charles Catholic looking for what they want to call their patented clock-eating drive as Mixon made the stop, but that's a 1st down to move the chains, and that's the biggest challenge right now for U-High. How do you stop a running game to get the ball back? Because St. Charles Catholic will sit on it and eat these final 4:15 right off the clock, just right into the end of the game.
They're going to have to start thinking about using a timeout if they can get the ball to a 3rd down running situation.
LeBlanc again. He's going under center so far on every play of this drive. He'll hand it off, nothing fancy. Normally giving it off to Skylar Edwards. I believe that's who's got it here. So Edwards, the workhorse on this, a 3-year starter.
St. Charles runs the football right here. University will need to use a timeout.
Yeah, you're down to just under 3.5 minutes in this game. It's a 6-point game. St. Charles Catholic with the lead over U-High. St. Charles Catholic has never trailed in this game. This time out of the gun, and it is Landry LeBlanc taking it past the 30-yard line. Looked like he was going to throw. Went down Aaron Moore there, and does he get... It's going to be third down. Timeout called, right?
Yeah, timeout is called by
exactly
University.
what you said. U-High needs to call a timeout if they run this ball, and that's what U-High did. So that is their first timeout.
This is going to force St. Charles Catholic punt. St. Charles needs to punt this football.
So how big is this 3rd down? And if you're St. Charles Catholic, what do you call offensively? If you're U-High, Wade, what do you do defensively here?
Well, defensively, you're going to have to put 8 people in the box to stop the run, force the punt, right? That's what they have to do, and that's exactly.
Or make them throw. Try to make them throw it if you want.
Well, if U-High is a man coverage team, man free, they're going to play man coverage on their guys. Well, at St. Charles, if they're going to throw the ball, look for them to run something across the formation and hit one of those little 2 routes or out routes again coming out of the backfield.
This St. Charles Comet team only averages 100 yards passing a game. They'll do 159 rushing. They like to run it. Under center, Landry LeBlanc on 3rd down and 6. Long count, trying to draw him offside. That's not going to work. Still has 8 on the play clock. U-High showing discipline. Down to 0. Play clock runs out. Did they call timeout in time? And they did. St. Charles Catholic got the timeout in time.
Well, they had a heavy box, right? They had 9 people down in the box, so watch what they're going to come out now. They might spread the formation a little bit. They're going to have to get a couple of guys out of the box if they choose to run the football. I still think what they might do is run some sort of cross motion like they do on their jet motions and their sweeps, and look for them to try to get him loose outside and dump one of their guys the ball, whether it's Walker LeBlanc, whether it's Claude Remondet, one of those guys coming across a more formation, maybe even Evan Dufour.
And they were trying to draw U-High offside to make it third and short.
Yeah.
It would have been 3rd and 1 had they got the 5-yard penalty. Right now it's third down and 6.
No harm done.
No harm done there.
No harm done. They were using a chess piece on a chessboard,
right?
That's it.
That's exactly it. So here we go. Now, 3rd down.
Look, they spread the formation. Now there you go. Now that's going to give them a better box if they want to run the ball. If not, they're going to man coverage out there at the top of your screen. See it?
From the gun, Landry LeBlanc wants to throw. He's caught. He's sacked. Back at the 25-yard line. My goodness, what a big play right there by the U-High defense. And that's about as huge as it comes. In on that for sure was DJ Coleman. Who else was back there?
Well, DJ Coleman was back there. Also was number 60. Mason Smith got home too. Just couldn't hold up against the pressure that was being applied by the U-High defensive line, and it's going to force St. Charles to punt for the 3rd time tonight.
How good is Mason Smith? He's a junior and already has an offer from Texas A&M.
Yeah, well, he's 6'3", 270, and he can run, right? You're going to get offers.
All right, Dax Prejean to punt it. Rush coming. Gets the punt off. Fair catch not called for, but it's made. The catch is, my goodness, it's made.
He gave him room. That's look, there's none of this halo rule, none of this type of stuff in high school. You just have to give him room. It's an official's judgment call.
Yeah, look, that's Dixon, and evidently the officials feel like they gave him enough room. And
great coverage again by St. Charles coverage teams.
Wow. Well, U-High has forced St. Charles Catholic into 4 punts. They did not punt in the first half and scored on their first possession of the second half. And since then, U-High's defense has forced 4 consecutive punts. 1st and 10 for U-High at their own 47. Hand off to Ingram. Ingram around the left side. Ingram gets a bunch. He'll get about 5.
Got to tackle him in bounds. The past 2 series, St. Charles has come up big, right? Another defensive series. Again, Wayne Stein's football team is asking their defense to come up and make plays in order to win another football game.
And they're going to try to run nothing going on that one. Boy, the handoff and absolutely nowhere to go for Ingram. And now you're down to under 2 minutes to play. Who else? Brooks Monica and Briggs Anderson. My goodness. 3rd down. It's 4-down territory, folks. Here's the 3rd down play. Long pass left side, has a man. Makes the catch. That's Lawson Dixon. My goodness, what a catch.
Big-time players make big-time plays when they need them, and Lawson Dixon has been making them all night.
But
for
quarterback Ethan McGlynn is down. He is slow to get up. You're watching the throw and the catch. What a catch right there. My goodness.
They had Lawson Dixon lined up in the slot as the second receiver. He runs a little post corner route wide open. He got the defender turned around out there, which was Preston Calm. Preston Calm got turned around a little bit, but I tell you, Ethan McGlynn stood in, took a pop, delivered the ball out there to his big-time receiver, Lawson Dixon, and we've got us a tied football game with the chance.
Tie game at 27-27. What a stunner right here for University High. They have come back with a brilliant defensive effort in the second half, and the high-powered offense has exploded. Right now, what you're seeing is Ethan McGlynn, the University High Cubs quarterback. He was really hit hard, and they have been working on him for a while. Good to see him sitting up.
They're working on his ankle. Looked like he might have twisted it a little bit maybe when he planted. He's in some pain down there. But look, he took a pop, but he stood in there against the rush and delivered a strike to Lawson Dixon.
See if we can see that, if it's possible to get that again on replay, because that was, what a catch, what a throw by Ethan McGlynn to tie this game up at 27. Remember the extra point coming up. And a nice round of applause.
Look at the
for
top of
Ethan
your screen.
McGlynn.
You can see the second receiver was Lawson Dixon as he runs his post corner. He takes a hit from the blind side, talking about McGlynn, but he hangs in there and delivers a beautiful pass.
Man,
for the touchdown.
All over him, he had a defender. What a catch by Lawson Dixon. Southeastern Louisiana getting a great one right there. My goodness.
First time tonight, University will have a chance to go up on the scoreboard.
They have not led. This is the first time U-High has tied the game. Here's the point after. It's blocked. It's blocked. And a team that has 6 kick blocks on the year just got their 7th. St. Charles Catholic blocks the kick. And we will remain tied at 27 with 90 seconds to play in this semifinal playoff game.
Hey, look, they always find a way to block a kick. We have seen over and over and over again when we've called games out here in Laplace at St. Charles Catholic, somebody blocks a kick. And again, they come up big on special teams by blocking a kick. Let's take a look and see. It comes right through the A gap. Look at the A gap next to the center to his left. I'm sorry, the B gap to his right. Somebody gets a big paw out on that ball. Couldn't get the young man's number, but I tell you what, it's always a special team play here in Laplace that puts St. Charles Catholic in a position to win a football game, and they do it again with a block kick.
Could have been Byron Bailey. We're not sure if we can. We're going to try to see it, folks. But again, St. Charles Catholic numbers are so hard to see. Boy, here's a word for coaches everywhere. For your own kids' sake, so kids can see it and everybody can see it, and we can really appreciate the kids who make the play. Give us jerseys that are readable. The people in the stands, TV, press box, streams, and everything else. Here comes the U-High kickoff. They're going to squib it.
I would too. I would not kick it into the hands of 2-4.
Hey, look, and St. Charles did the right thing. Just fall on it. No harm done there. That was Baylor Kugler, who just fell on that ball for St. Charles Catholic. So the Comets can date. Remember, St. Charles Catholic has Tyler Miliotto. He can hit him from 40 in, maybe 45 in. So get him to where he can put the ball down between the 35 and the 40. They've got a chance to do it. And they've got 125 to move it down. Move it down to about the 30-yard line. Let's see if they can get it there. A little swing pass to the left. Some room. And a quick run out of bounds to stop the clock. Skylar Edwards on the catch and run out of bounds, stopping the clock with 1:23 to play. And a U-High player hurt.
One of the first
down with a cramp.
One of the first times tonight that I've seen U-High in a zone coverage, right? They got out of their man and got into a zone coverage, 3 deep. And that's interesting to see if on this last drive, which it just might be for St. Charles, will they get a dose of some zone coverages from the University High defense.
Might be Bradley Goodson, the senior defensive end. Boy, they're working on that leg cramp or Achilles cramp. You've had a few of those in your day, didn't you?
Well, you got to have one to have one. And I don't think I have one.
Folks, what a difference the second half has been. In the first half of this game, after taking the opening kickoff and going 69 yards, followed by a 23-yard run to take a 7-0 lead, St. Charles Catholic never trailed. They went up 10-0, 13-0, 20-0 right before the end of the first half. U-High scores, makes it a 20-7 ball game. U-High got the opening kickoff to start the second half, goes down, scores, makes it 20-14. They're within 6. Boom. St. Charles comes back and scores, makes it 27-14. And then after that, U-High has forced St. Charles Catholic into 4 consecutive punts. Can they hold them now? We're tied at 27. First tie of this ball game. Just Landry LeBlanc keeping, and he's going to run it. They could be playing for overtime. Lane Mixon.
Fourth quarter score out of the West Bank in New Orleans. Archbishop Shaw 20, Vanderbilt Catholic nothing.
So it looks like Shaw is on their way to the Superdome to play one of these two teams next Friday night for the state championship. Straight ahead, he's got the first down with 51 seconds. Remember, don't let this St. Charles running game lull you to sleep.
Sooner or later, they're going to take a shot here. This might be the down that they take a shot on with 49 seconds left.
Jackson Hester, Jacob's son. They call him Josh. Made the stop. When will they take the shot? It might be right now. No, they're going to scroll a little inside screen. Drop ball, incomplete pass. Incomplete pass. Immediately the officials waving their hands, incomplete.
Yeah.
Stopping the clock with 35 seconds.
Wow, that was lucky, right? So here we go. He just doesn't. Oh my goodness, that could have been ripped out of his hands. I don't know. If this was Saturday,
Smith all over it.
Yeah, if this was Saturday, they'd be taking a look at that.
A lot of Texas A&M fans going, hey, yeah, we got to watch him play again next year, but he'll be with us in 2 years.
Let's take a look. Let's take a look at it again. They run the tunnel screen. I don't know if we're going to have time to take a look at it, but that looked like that got ripped out of his hands. In the ball, Mason Smith knocked it out possibly. Oh, my goodness gracious.
Second down 10. Landry LeBlanc from the gun. He is going to run straight up the middle. He has a hold, but he slides down as he crosses the 45, slides down to the 46-yard line. 26-25, that clock ticking, timeout called. St. Charles Catholic.
As I said, seeing more zone coverage out of University High, able to get those safeties quicker after they get the reads on the run game to be able to fill alleys, right? So, they're also back there a little bit deeper defending the pass. So I like the idea of University High sitting in a too-high zone coverage right now.
First 6 times St. Charles Catholic had the ball in this game, they scored either a touchdown or a field goal. The last 4 times they have punted the ball away. So they're trying to get back on track in these final 25 seconds. Remember, folks, they do not have to score. They have Tyler Miliotto, has 2 33-yard field goals tonight. He is 6 of 8 on the year, has 40-yard range easy.
46-yarder is his longest this year. They're working to get that ball down to give him one shot. And I don't blame them. Look for them to take they're going to have to throw something intermediate over the middle here, and then they can use a timeout if they have to.
Wide out split to each side.
Looks like U High takes a timeout.
Yeah. That was Claude Remedy way out to the right side. So U High wants to talk this over. So right now, if you're U High, you saw what St. Charles Catholic came out in. What is Andy Martin telling the Cubs?
Well, they wanted to see exactly what formation St. Charles was coming out in. So he's going over their checks right now over there on the boundary and telling them this is exactly what we're going to be in coverage. And they also better be prepared for motion, right? So what do we do when they do give us, or if they give us motion, right? Those are things that he just wanted to roll through their minds. That was more of a scouting mission, right? To see exactly what they were coming out in, so he could make sure he has the right call coming in. So what does St. Charles do? They change the formation. Who's got the last chess piece, right? There you go. 2 high coverage by U High.
3 wide outs to the right side. LeBlanc looking that way. He will go over the head of the intended receiver, just trying to flare one out to a back coming out of the backfield and throws it away. That'll bring up 4th down with 22 seconds to play. Lamar Brown there. Now you've got to be careful. If you're St. Charles Catholic, you have to move the chains right here. Otherwise, you're giving U High the ball with just a few seconds, or you just throw it long, or you're going to punt it away.
You punt this football.
You're going to punt that back.
The guy that made that play right there was Lamar Brown, was all over Landry LeBlanc. You can't block him one-on-one.
You want to back him up way back now and go to overtime,
yes,
right?
But you better cover your punt.
Big rush. They almost got it, but he gets it off. And this is going to bounce at the 25, take a St. Charles Catholic roll inside the 20 and all the way down to the 15-yard line with 15 seconds to play in the game. Clock still ticking and will be blown dead with 13 seconds to play. So that far back, you don't want to make a mistake. Do you just play for overtime here?
University High has one timeout. If you want to be aggressive, you can take some shots right down the center of the field. You need to look for your guy, Lawson Dixon, right? And you can take a shot, call timeout. You need to try to get into field goal position for Mason Melanson, whose longest this year is 37 yards. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Looks like they're going to kneel this thing out.
They're going to kneel it out and play for overtime. Not a bad move. It is the safe play. Like you said, you can take the aggressive play. Something bad happens, then you're in trouble.
We got time. We got overtime.
We've got overtime. They will take the knee and let the clock run out, and we are going to overtime here in Laplace, Louisiana at Frank Monica Field. My God, Frank Monica Field at Thomas Dupuis Stadium. We're going to see overtime here in the semifinals. What a second half comeback. It was a great first half by U High. They owned, by St. Charles Catholic. St. Charles Catholic owned the first half of this game, and it flipped. U High has owned the second half of this game. Each team scoring one touchdown in the half that their opponent owned. But my goodness, we are going to overtime to see who is probably going to meet Archbishop Shaw for the state championship in the Dome next week. Archbishop Shaw, the defending state champions in this division. They're going to make their return. They were up a bunch over Vanderbilt Catholic.
Let me explain the overtime rules real quick for our folks out there. They're going to have a coin toss, right? You win this coin toss, you want to choose defense. That's exactly how you have to say it. You do not want to defer. You do not want the ball. You want defense. The ball will go to the 10-yard line of the choosing of the team that does not win the toss, correct? So now, once you choose defense, you get the ball for the equal set of downs, 4 downs, to match what the offense did. Okay, so the ball's going to go to the 10-yard line. Offense scores. If you're on defense, you get a chance to match or score more points. That's how overtime in the Federation rules of high school work. So it's all big with the toss.
So let's see what's going to happen with the toss of this coin.
All right, so it looks like University High won the toss, and they've chosen defense. And St. Charles Catholic will be on offense first. There you go. So they're going to go to the end opposite the scoreboard. That's the end that was chosen. And they'll be going with the scoreboard to their back.
Wow.
Well, 2 years ago, we were in a great football game where it went into overtime, and we saw a field goal win it then in overtime against U High to send St. Charles Catholic to their state final game.
We might have to take a look at, we'll see. I don't think we have time to take a look at those highlights. We showed them at halftime of that 2023 contest. 2024, neither one of these teams.
Oh, high snap. Kick is blocked. Hold. Kick is good. Let the celebration begin in Laplace. The Comets.
Late in the fourth quarter on the West Bank, Archbishop Shaw 27, Vanderbilt Catholic nothing. It looks like Archbishop Shaw will punch their ticket to the Dome next Friday night at 7 o'clock in the Division II Select Finals.
So here we go. St. Charles Catholic with the ball first in overtime, and a hard push all the way through. Touchdown on the first play overtime.
Well, we've seen that play before again. Quarterback ISO off the jet sweep. Who does it? Landry LeBlanc. Here it is. Look at the block. Look at the block right there by the backside guard. That was the left guard, if I'm not mistaken. It might have been Parker Miette coming around from his guard position, getting a great block on the linebacker to be able to spring LeBlanc to the end zone.
I believe it was. We can check it. I think it was Parker Miette that did that. And here comes your point after. It's so important in overtime. And it is good.
All right, so now in overtime, University will get the ball from the 10-yard line with the chance to match the score. They have to score 7, and we'll go into a second overtime. Anything less, St. Charles Catholic wins the football game.
Wow. Could lightning strike twice within a 3-year period for St. Charles Catholic against the very same opponent in overtime to send them to the Superdome as it did in 2023? We just reviewed the highlights once again. So University High, St. Charles Catholic strikes one play. Landry LeBlanc did it. Who gets the call now on first down? First play of overtime for U High. Remember, McGlynn was shaken up. He seems to be okay. With the ball, he's looking lots of time, getting lots of protection. He will throw. Got a man inside the 5-yard line. That's caught. So a gain of 6. That was Pettit on the catch.
He was looking for Ingram out of the backfield on the wheel route, covered well by the linebacker. Brooks Monica hooking up with him. He checks down to Pettit.
And nothing doing on second down. To the 5 and back.
I think that was Acevedo again coming off the left edge right there. You can see him. Boom! Nice job taking
Ingram.
out the knees of Ingram.
Do they go with Ingram again? McGlynn with the snap, big rush. He's in trouble. He just throws it into the end zone. A diving attempt by Martin. It was short of the end zone. Bovia giving chase. And now it's fourth down. It's going to come down to this play.
The guy that puts the pressure on McGlynn was Tyler Bovia, coming off of the left edge up there. Does a nice job chasing him down. All McGlynn can do is throw that thing up and hope for a prayer.
This is it. It comes down to this play. Fourth down, 5 yards away.
University High might take a timeout right here and talk about this.
It's a big one. I think that would be a good idea. Let's see. Play clock down to 3.
They're gonna take
2,
a timeout.
And now they'll take the timeout with the play clock at 1. Timeout. University High. They've got to talk about it because it all comes down to this play. And if you're calling it based on what we've seen tonight, what do you call Wade Kaiser?
I'm finding Lawson Dixon, and I'm throwing him the football, right?
Dixon has made fantastic catches.
If I'm St. Charles Catholic, somehow, some way, I'm making sure I'm taking number 3 away from these guys. Make sure you take 3 away.
Yes. If you're St. Charles Catholic, you may put 3 men on 3.
There you go.
3. Hey, 3 on 3. Lawson Dixon is that dangerous, that good. Oh. All right, folks. Here we go. Dixon is lining up wide to the left, top of your screen.
He's got one-on-one coverage out there.
He's got man
He needs
coverage.
help to the inside. He needs help to the inside.
Ingram is there to block if needed. Low snap, picked up, looking the other way. They're going the other way. Overthrow. Pettit couldn't catch up to it. Ball game over. St. Charles Catholic does it again to U High in overtime and pulls it out to make another trip to the Louisiana Superdome to play Archbishop Shaw for the state championship next week.
St. Charles brought pressure from McGlynn's left side. You'll see at the top of the screen right there. Brooks Monica is applying the pressure. McGlynn did not even look at Dixon. He looks for...
He's looking for Pettit.
He was looking for Pettit running the corner route. He had one-on-one coverage over there, but the ball was overthrown. He felt the heat of Brooks Monica bearing down on him. St. Charles Catholic again comes up big in overtime and has punched their ticket to meet Archbishop Shaw next Friday night, 7 o'clock, Division II Select Finals in the Dome. What a football game tonight.
Holy moly, what a football game this was. You had said it, Wade Kaiser. My goodness, it just doesn't get any better than this. In 2023, we showed the highlights twice. It took overtime for St. Charles Catholic to beat U High, and tonight, once again, after taking a commanding 20-0 lead in the first half, halftime 20-7, then we see U High come back and own the second half, ties the game up at 27, the first tie in this ball game, and then, sure enough, they go to overtime, and in overtime, St. Charles Catholic scores on the very first play. Landry LeBlanc on the run, first down from the 10-yard line, takes it himself into the end zone for the touchdown. U High comes back, makes a valiant effort, 4 downs, can't score. That's ball game in overtime. It's St. Charles Catholic and Coach Wayne Stein going to the Superdome. What do you think?
They'll be meeting Archbishop Shaw, who they saw in Week 10. They beat Shaw 24-0 right here at St. Charles, over on the West Bank at Archbishop Shaw High School in Week 10 for the district championship. So they will be seeing them for the second time in 4 weeks. Credit to Archbishop Shaw High School, but credit to this St. Charles Catholic Comet football team, especially the defense coming up big again for them here tonight in Laplace.
And while we watch this, there's fans of 2 college teams that are very happy tonight. One, Lamar Brown, and making LSU fans very happy on what they saw him not only sign with LSU, but play a whale of a game on both sides of the ball tonight for U High, and Tulane leading 27-7, I believe, over North Texas in their championship game. A lot of Tulane fans were here tonight at this ball game wearing their Tulane gear. Nice to see that for both LSU and Tulane here at St. Charles Catholic tonight, showing their support not only for their teams here, but for LSU and Tulane too. Boy, that's final comments as you look at this
great
one.
football game. A tale of 2 halves, right? St. Charles Comet come out with their pedal to the metal in the first half, and you would thought they were going to run away with this thing. But credit a good U High football team, well coached. Andy Martin makes some adjustment at halftime, gets his kids to believe. They come back punching and swinging in the second half, and they get St. Charles Catholic on their heels. They fight their way right back into this ball game. It goes into overtime, and it comes down to the last play of the game in overtime. Defense stands tall again for St. Charles Catholic. Congratulations to the Comets. Great year by the University Cubs.
And by the way, great job by our crew tonight, both Matt and Chip Merritt producing and on camera. Rick Thompson helping me spot with these very difficult to read uniform numbers tonight. Wade Kaiser, always fun to work with you, and I know you're going to be doing some games from the Dome, so we're very excited for you about that. Some of the television games there, and I wish you the best of luck with that.
Thank you.
You get these guys again.
I will see them again next Friday night.
You coached here, and maybe be the guy to bring them a little luck, but you know Hank Tierney and Shaw too, so it's going to be a fun game to call for you and a fun one to watch. Folks, that's going to wrap it up from here. What a game this was. We want to thank you for joining us this evening. Next week, join Crescent City Sports for the audio broadcasts of all 8 state championship games from the Caesars Superdome. If you're in the Dome, hey man, you can pick us up on audio, giving you the coverage of all 8 games. Our coverage will begin Thursday at noon. For Wade Kaiser and our Crescent City Sports Production team, I'm Ken Berthelot saying goodnight from Laplace. Our final score again in overtime, and the right to meet Archbishop Shaw for the state championship next Friday is the St. Charles Catholic Comets defeating U High 34-27 in overtime. From Laplace, good night, everybody.